baby? Do you hear me? Listen, my flesh, it's a friendship so devoted. From my bones, all the mothers get demoted. Yeah. You're my real, you're my
What's going on, y'all? This is Mr. Let Go. Let me shout y'all out in the chat real quick, and we are going to get started. The stepfather that refused to pay for his stepdaughter's wedding due to the fact that her father, her real dad, wanted to walk her down the aisle instead of him. He is here. And real quick, before I do all that, make sure y'all hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, and let me shout y'all out real quick, and we're going to start the show. But y'all got to hit the like button. All right, shout out to where you at? Chi-Town. Shout out to Miami, Florida. Shout out to Denver, Nigeria, Anniston, Alabama, Cali, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Texas, Michigan. Shout out to you. Shout out to Charlotte again. All right. So for those who don't know or have been under a rock, there has been a viral video. Shout out to ATL, Michigan, Jacksonville, Florida, Los Angeles. There has been the Bronx. There has been a viral video that has been going crazy for the last, I would say, 3 weeks about a man who was a stepdad who literally got to the point where he reneged on his duties as a stepfather, not because he refused to pay for the wedding of his stepdaughter, but because he backed out of the situation. And I instantly looked at that and said, all right, that's not what men do. Because if a man agrees to do something, regardless of what the variables are, you got to keep going. Now, would I have done that? The answer is no. I'm never going to overextend myself to the point where I feel like I'm being used, right? So he turns around, and I'm gonna play the video. He turns around and buys the girl a car, pays for her college, like $40,000 and all this other stuff, right? But then he pays for the whole wedding, and due to a variable changing, he backs out and says, I'm not gonna pay. That in itself is not fair. Because that young girl most likely didn't ask him to pay for the wedding. The mama probably asked him to pay for the wedding. All right, so everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Put a 1 in the chat if you have already hit the like button. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. So to give you some backstory, here we go.
My stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. A-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, you know, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they can have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now, I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm going to see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people.
All right, y'all. Y'all got to hit the like button. Y'all are not hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Likes are free. Hit the like button.
And you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend. Said, you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's going to say if any of the people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right? So now, the crazy part about it is, when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Hosting the wedding family at my house.
All right, hold up. It messed up a little bit. Let me back it up.
Hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up. My stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? Look cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for in my house? The daddy don't do nothing for you? Is giving you away? And they were just so happy and smiling. Yay, great. Inside, I was fuming.
There's a lot more, so watch this video to the end, but I wanted to interject right here because there's so much. First thing I want to ask is she getting married or is he getting married? Okay, so now, all right, before I bring him up, put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear the rest of the story. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear the rest of the story. That's the first part of it. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear the rest of the story. Do y'all want to hear the rest of the story? Because there's another half of it. I want to make sure y'all are getting what y'all want. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want to hear the rest of the story. Okay, so y'all want to hear the rest of the story. All right, so here's part 2. All right, so I just want to make sure y'all good. So here's the second part of the story.
Daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for in my house? The daddy don't do nothing for you? Is giving you away? And they were just so happy and smiling. Yay, great. And be around it for the last 10 years, for the last 10 years. But tell me why giving my financial duties to the new host and I would back need. I realized I'm an 18 family.
All right, right here. This is when he's at the actual reception, wedding or something. I'm not exactly sure, but they're about to have a toast and he blows up the whole situation. Watch this.
Gratitude, because they have opened my eyes tonight. I said, I owe the groom and the bride a deep debt of gratitude because they have opened my eyes tonight. Everybody at the table was just smiling. They have let me know that my position in this family is not what I thought it was. Oh, you should have saw the frowns, man. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather or, the head of the family that I thought I was, the loved one that would be seeked out in times of need. Nah. I realized I'm an ATM. I'm an ATM. I'm an ATM. Since I have been replaced as host of the wedding, I shall be giving my financial duties to the new host, and I will back out monetarily. Now later that night, tell me why my girlfriend gonna come to me talking about how I'm ruining so much, how I'm ruining so much for backing out, and how her daughter ain't gonna have her dream wedding, and how her daughter ain't this and that. Okay, well, it's apparent that I'm not family in this family, so the family should take care of it, right? That's my stepdaughter. I mean, it ain't even my stepdaughter, really. It's my girlfriend. It's my girlfriend. It's my girlfriend. I just happen to be around her for the last 10 years, for the last 10 years. But tell me why the next day, my girlfriend trying to show me how much I'm ruined, right? She takes me to where they planning the wedding, and the wedding planner showed me, I look at the venue. They got some father-daughter dances, right? 3 songs. All of them cater to her real dad, not me. I looked at the food they got. 2 of the dishes got stuff I'm allergic to in it. I just started laughing. Like, they want me to pay for this? His name on it, not mine. His songs, not mine. The food, I can't eat the food. And the 20 people out of 250 that I wanted, they can't even come in my house? Wow. Okay. I will not be there, and neither will my money. And they will no longer be at my house either. And you will no longer be at my house or your daughter. Because, yeah, I'm not family. I'm not even important enough to be put up on the brochure. It's crazy, man.
One of my big So before we bring up the guest of honor, we got to do a little commercial break. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. I'm about to bring him up in 30 seconds. But before we do that, check this out.
It's meant to give you and other players deep understanding of how we all deal with. Deeper Discussion card game is meant to give you and other players deep understanding of how we all deal with relationship, when or if things get serious. One of the biggest reasons why people break up is because of underlying family issues. This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group, so have fun.
Question number 1. What is the one thing you wanted but didn't receive when you were young? Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad. What is the most annoying attribute about the opposite sex?
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
A potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. It'll even tell you what's wrong with your sneaky link. If you and your sneaky link need to have a conversation, these are the cards.
And you can fix yourself and
And
figure out the why.
The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out. After
durable. Deeper Discussion card game is meant to give you and other players deep understanding.
If anybody, for those who don't know, I came out with a great dating card game that will actually help you get away or avoid situations like this stepfather. Just imagine this guy was in this situation. He was with this woman for 10 years. It took him 10 years to realize his lady, not wife, his lady was actually using him for his money. I want y'all to think about that. It took him 10 years to realize that his girlfriend was using him for his money. But, Terica says we only have 45 likes. I need, y'all tripping. I need everybody watching to hit the like button. Y'all tripping. We need the likes up. Let's go. Everybody hit the like button, y'all. If y'all want him to come up to the show, y'all got to hit the like button. But along with that, buy my card game. My card game, the link is in the chat, in the top of the chat for everybody in the chat. The link is actually in the chat. And one of the things that my card game actually helps you do is avoid situations like this stepfather is in. There's a lot of questions in the card game where once you play it with another person, you can literally avoid being in a situation where you like, yo, I've been with a person for 10 years and now I got to deal with this. The card game will actually help you learn to who the actual person is that you're dealing with. So make sure to hit the like button, and the link is in the chat to buy the card game. And with all that being said, here's my guy.
Peace to you. Peace to you. How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing, man. I'm excited to be able to have this build with you.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. That is what's up. So this is, well, first of all, introduce yourself.
All right, for those who are not familiar with me, my name is Kevin Wesley. I am the person that is doing that in that video. I'm a content creator as well. I'm a coach, counselor. I was in ministry for 15 years where I was a youth pastor, acting pastor. During that time, I got certified in counseling, all that. Now what I do is I try and review different videos like I reviewed that one to try and enlighten the community so we can be able to have long-lasting relationships in our families and be able to make it to grandparents instead of all these broken homes out here. So the last year or so, I've been dedicating my time into relationships and parenting and things of that nature. So today I'm going to be talking about how I would talk to this guy if I were counseling or coaching him. So of course you guys see me in this video.
Whoa. So what you're telling the audience is that wasn't your story?
No, that's not my story. Actually,
you had all of us believing a lot of people don't know that wasn't your story. Can you explain that part? Because a lot of people right now are like, wait, huh? So explain that part.
All right, so yeah, I've been getting that out of the woodwork. So basically it's a story from Reddit. Okay, or you can go on Quora, you can see these real life stories. So being sensitive about the situation, it is a real story that happened with a real stepfather, a real situation. Okay, I saw it being reenacted by someone else. So I reacted to that video. That person didn't want me using their video. I didn't want to, discard all of my content that I had to that video. So I said, you know what, I'll do the reenactment myself. So I did the reenactment myself. The video right now, I think, is around like close to 3 million views. And so many people, I think I saw on YouTube alone, 23, 24 videos and lives and things doing that video. And many people do think it's me. I've saw somebody even bring in my actual real life. I'm poly. I have 2 wives, 3 children with my first wife. And then me and my new wife are currently pregnant now. People are factoring that in, saying that I actually have a real stepchild involved in that, and they're getting it all wrong. So yeah, that's why I'm actually glad to be able to have this build, man. I've seen it all.
Okay, because I'm up here like, I thought Kevin Wesley was because I already had followed you, and I was like, yo, this dude is a whole sucker out here. What is he out here doing? I was like mad at you, like, yo, bro, what is wrong with you? So yeah. So me and him talked in the background, but I literally did not know that it was a skit until I actually got on the phone with him. You know what I'm saying? Because you hit me up in the comments and I DM'd you and I was like, yo, like, you got to explain this to me. You know what I'm saying? So you got me. So one thing I can say is you're a great actor because your facial expressions, your tonality, because folks would be in the chat like, no, that's not him. I'm like, you a lie. Like, look how he acting.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, your acting acumen is great. It's great. So just so y'all know, being on this channel here, Mr. Let Go, I have a couple rules. So 1, you have to hit the like button, and 2, you have to contribute to the channel. And you have 3 different ways you can contribute to the channel. Either via Cash App, which is right here, Aaron 1000. 2, drop a super chat in the chat. Or 3, purchase my card game. Some of you may not know about my card game. So do one of the 3. I will always say buy the card game because now you have a product instead of just, dropping a super chat. But if you want us to read your comment, make sure to drop it in the super chat, put some color behind your words, and then we'll read it. But all together, we both are 2 individuals that are, we both believe in family empowerment. That's what I call it. So My card game, everything else we all do is about family empowerment. So that scenario with this guy, the stepfather, the stepdaughter, the baby mama, all that stuff, all of that is real. A actual man went through all of that.
Yes, sir.
A man went through all of that. All right. So with all that being said, how do you as a man or how do you as a woman avoid somebody using you or doing you wrong or realizing that this person that I'm in a relationship with don't really want to be with me? Just like the Nia Jackson situation. We're not going to talk about that, but Nia Jackson, as an example, she was in a relationship with Derek Jackson for over 13 years. So how do we as individuals avoid long-term catastrophes where a person, sometimes our own selves, can turn around and get flim-flammed by another person for 10 years? The next thing you know, you lose 10 years of your life with this person, 7 years of your life with this person. My card game will actually help you avoid all of that, because all you got to do is take my card game, sit in front of the woman or the man that you dating, and just play it. And all kinds of stuff is going to come out of the woodwork about that person. And now you're like, you know what? Thank you. Because you just helped me avoid 10 years of my life because you are trash. Because the way you operate, the way your family structure is set up is not in congruency with me. I'm out. And now you can avoid what this guy in this video had to go through. Because 10 years is a long ass time. So the link to buy the card game is in the chat. So Kevin, what is your opinion about the guy himself in that video? Like, what do you see, or what did you see when you first seen that video of the real actual situation?
So normally when I make my videos, I have a different perspective than most would anyway. But most of the time people see my perspective, right? But this is one of the few times that I got most of my contention from a video. They absolutely did not see it the way I saw it. So when I saw your video, it was very refreshing because you were saying things similar to what I was saying. So that's why I commented like great review, because on my page, everyone's telling me I'm wrong, I'm heartless, I'm not considering him. They even called me the next Derek Jackson. Now, you know how I got to feel about that now. Right? Like, I swear to God. And it got a bunch of likes on it too. It's just like, come on now. So they're saying I'm simping via the video because most of what I have is I have my problems with the man and how he went about it. So where most people are caught up in the man's emotions, rightfully so, he probably was being used, but they are more so like, you deserve better and you should have never been put through that. That may be true, but we still got to deal with his intention and his behavior surrounding this issue. So I'm talking from a man-to-man perspective, and actually even from a child's perspective, growing up without a mother, having other women in my life who said they wanted to be a mother to me, but didn't really fulfill that. It broke my heart every time because I actually believed them. Now I'm old enough to understand that they couldn't have done that even if they had wanted to, and they probably just felt sorry for me. So they were saying these things, making these proclamations that they couldn't live up to. But I want adults to understand the damage you do to a child by trying to be their parent, knowing you don't have the propensity to truly be their parent. You understand? And then I wanted to go from a standpoint of how stepfathers should enter into relationships with children versus going in thinking that you're going to become their parent. You see what I'm saying? But all in all, negative reactions is what I got to my perspective on that video. And that's why I wanted to have this bill with you. I can speak to a lot of the things that people were saying.
Yeah. Okay. So I have been a stepfather before. I actually dated a woman. Well, the majority of women that I have dated in my life have been stepmothers. I mean, have been women with children. All right. So more women that I dated had kids versus the women that I dated didn't have kids. All right. So this scenario is something that I never got caught up in, but I can see how it can actually happen. Right. So let me give you an example. I dated a woman who had 2 kids. a 9-year-old and I think a 7-year-old, something like that, you know, a little girl and a little boy, right? And me and the son was cool, but the dad was around, right? So I would be outside, you know, I'm over there or whatever, and the little boy just wanted to be a running back. That's his number one goal in life. He wanted to be a running back, right? So I would be outside with a little boy, little Kendall playing football. Actually, his cousin actually made it to the NFL. Last name is Crawwell. I forgot, Isaiah Crawwell, I think. He's either in the NFL or he was in the NFL. Isaiah Crawwell. That was the cousin of the son that I was around. So we'll be out there playing football or whatever, throwing the football. You know, I was teaching him how to run routes and all this other stuff, right? Real close to this young man. And his dad was in his life, right? Shout out to him. He was always around, but I had a different role in the boy's life versus the dad. The dad was always busy. He was always working. He didn't have time to throw the football with his son and all that stuff, right? So it was one time where his dad was at his game. I didn't go to his game. I would just practice with the boy, right? So he did really bad in the game. And his dad, you know, picked him up from after the game and was like, all right, so a little background. When me and his son would throw the ball to each other, whoever dropped the ball, I say, yo, Kendall, you suck, right? If I drop the ball, he'll say, Aaron, you suck, right? So it was a thing between me and him where if somebody drops the ball, one of us would tell the other person they suck, right? So he actually played a bad game, and his dad was like, yo, son, you really sucked out there. Do you know the son went off on his dad? The son was like, blah, I can't believe you can't say that to me. You can't say this because you ain't helping me practice, right? He literally told his mama, he told me I sucked, right? And the mama was like, but you be outside with Aaron and he'll say you suck. What's the difference? He said, because Aaron is out there practicing with me. He has the right to tell me I suck because he's helping me get better. I'm like the stepdad, right? I ain't married to him, but I'm the woman's boyfriend. I'm like, yo, you went off on your own dad? And so that right there showed me that is definitely a spot in a child's heart for the stepdad. And the stepdad, depending on who he is and what he does, it's a spot for him. You know, he's not pushed to the side. He's not this trash person. He's not this backup person. You know, you can actually have a great spot in a child's heart as the stepdad or simply the mom's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And with all that being said, years later, right? I ain't with the mama no more. And years later, the son and the daughter invited me to their graduation. I went to one of their graduations last year, the daughter, and I went to the son's graduation like 3 years ago. They both invited me to their graduation when they graduated from high school. I was around them when they were 9. 7 years later, they grew up and remembered me and invited me to their graduations. So to all the stepdads out there, or to all the men who date women who had kids or have kids or whatever, there's a spot in these children's hearts and you can like add value to them. But one thing I didn't do, Kevin, not one time did I try to take over and say, I'm your daddy. Or when his daddy came around, I'm like, yo, why you around? No, me and him operated within a system, right? You know what I'm saying? So when he came around, you know, he did his thing. But when I came around, I did my thing. And me and the dad actually was cool. We had each other's phone numbers. And real quick, because I think this is helpful also. When I started dating her in the beginning, and once I said, you my girl, you know, the first thing that she did, everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. We need 100 And we need about 100 likes. I need everybody to hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. We need 100 likes. Y'all hit the damn like button. Guess what she did when I literally told her, we're going to be together, you know, you my girl. What do you think she did? Just guess. The first thing she did involving her baby daddy. What do you think she did?
Hopefully she made that known to him that she had somebody in her life.
Yes. The first thing she did, picked up the phone and said, hey, he was like, what's up? I need you to come over here real quick. And he was like, what's up? Just come over here. Something wrong? No, nothing wrong. Just come over here. She called him over there. 30 minutes later, he pulls up. He comes in the house. He said, okay, y'all need to meet each other because this is the man that's going to be around your kids. This is my new boyfriend, and I need y'all to get acquainted. And she walks out the door. That's it. And this is our first time meeting each other, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, she walks out the door. So we just looking at each other like, what's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? And we literally started talking about his kids and, you know, different things, you know, stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I heard about you, you know what I'm saying? She told me about you or whatever. So, you know, welcome to the family, blah, 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 blah. And we exchanged each other's phone numbers or whatever. And he said, if you need anything from me, if my kids start acting up, you know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, intervene. Don't do anything. You either call me or either let her call me. You know, I'll discipline them. You ain't got to worry about none. My kids are good. And he literally sold his kids to me, not like he sells kids to a weirdo, but he sold them to let me know, like, yo, you ain't got to worry about nothing about my kids. My kids are good. But if they act up, call me and I got you.
Now, I want to ask you something real quick, okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I just reviewed a video. It's up on my Facebook right now of a mother going to her baby daddy's house and confronting his wife for whooping her child when she already told her, don't whoop my child. Like she already told the husband, her baby's daddy, only you and I can whoop the child. But he's giving her permission to whoop their child, and she's there confronting her, right? So I'm gonna ask you. So the man told you, okay, I don't hit my child. Call me if you have an issue. If you are told that by the father who's in the child's life, don't physically put your hands on his child, would you do it? No. Even if the mother asked you to? No. That was my take on the video. You should not do that. But the mother, she insisted. She said, if it's my house, if she disrespect me in my house, I'm putting my hands on her.
My issue is we don't listen to women. Women are under us. I talk to the baby daddy. The woman ain't got nothing to do with this.
Right. I'm gonna he permitted her to do it.
She can't permit me to do nothing. The only thing she could permit me to do is enter her body. You ain't got no say so. Because
no, I'm saying she agreed with the baby's daddy that no one is to whoop their child. They have this agreement. So the baby daddy says, well, she whooped her because I told her to. I wasn't home. She was being disrespectful. So I told her that she could. The mother said, even if you tell her she can. Huh?
Hold on. So you're saying the woman, hold on. I'm getting this. So okay. Can you tell me the scenario again? Who is in the house? Who is the mother of the dog? Who's in the house and who's the actual step parent? I'm confused.
Right. So the mother is confronting the baby daddy and his new wife. Okay.
Wife.
That's his new wife. His new wife. Different. No, it's a wife. So a stepmother, right?
She's a wife.
It's a wife.
That's different.
Right.
Because she's now.
Of course. That makes it a little bit different.
That's different.
Right. So
and it's a woman.
Right.
It's not no man. So in my situation, I was a man, right? And no man is going to allow or be okay with another man putting his hands on his kids as far as discipline, right?
Right.
But if it was me and I got two young, I got two daughters, but two young girls, right? And I bring in another woman now, because women don't have no authority, right? Women sit their asses down somewhere. So my ex-wife can't tell my wife what to do, what not to do. I run this. You feel me? So that, in my opinion, is different. So if I give my new wife the authority to discipline our kids, she can do that. My ex-wife ain't coming over nowhere telling nobody what to do, because I run all this. I run the ex-wife. Because I'm the head of the house. I'm the head of the family until my ex-wife finds a new husband. And when my ex-wife finds a new husband, me and your new husband is going to talk. I'm not talking to you about nothing that's going on in this household, because if you don't trust me, there's a huge problem. So if I let my new wife discipline my kids and you as an ex-wife have a problem with it, that means you don't trust me. So you need to talk to me, not her. You don't talk to her. You talk to me, because I'm the head of this household. Versus if the man was there and the man did something, the man now has to talk to the other man. I believe men talk to other men. I don't need no woman telling me nothing. Now, if I'm wrong, if I'm crazy, she can take custody and take me to court if she don't trust me. But if the kids are in my house, you trust the kids to be in my house, and you trust the way I run the house. So no, my ex-wife ain't coming in my house saying nothing. She's going to have a conversation with me, and I'm going to explain to her why because my new wife didn't do nothing. I did something. I gave her permission. So you talk to me. You don't talk to her about nothing. I gave the permission. Does that make sense?
So I get your perspective. So I look at it like this. Let's say you've been co-parenting with your baby's mother for a little while. This little girl is of age to at least be considered disrespecting somebody, right? So you've been co-parenting with your baby's mother, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, y'all have agreed nobody else is to put hands on your child. Now, based on your perspective, you likely would have never came to that agreement, because you would have said, when I meet my wife, she is going to have a right to put hands on my child if I give it to her. So you would have never agreed to that, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So her and this guy, they agreed that only them two would physically interact with the child in this way.
Well, that was the agreement.
That's the agreement. So
now
the
guy violated. He violated because he went against the agreement.
Got an agreement with her, right? Because now you're co-parenting, right? So if we're co-parenting, I don't want anything to change if you get married, because you know I'm in my child's life, and you know we have the parenting already down pat, because we are the parents, right?
Right. And
now a step parent is a step parent. They're not the parent. Mm-hmm. You see, so we got this. Yeah. So basically, he said I had a whooper because I wasn't home, but you didn't say that. You told me you just wouldn't have a whooper. So she's saying, don't do this. Now the mother is talking crazy, saying, yeah, I hit her, and if you come here with a problem, you can get hit too. So she's provoking the mother, right? Provoking her. So me as a man, if I'm co-parenting with a woman and I get remarried, I am not going to let my new wife, physically punish my child. I can cover that. I can handle it when I get home. You don't need to do that. There's got to be another way, because even if I feel like she can and say I got your mindset and it's my kingdom, I can run it how I want. Because I know it would bring the worst out of my child's mother, if I let this woman whoop my child, I wouldn't do it, because I don't want the chaos. I can tell her not to whip her. And to me, a good woman wouldn't want to whoop your child, even with permission, if the mother's in her life. Like, I don't want to hear her and her mama show up. But instead, the mother's talking trash. I didn't want to go into a whole different conversation, but you had just said that you had step kids. So I wanted to ask you, if you, in that scenario, how would you look at that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I look at everything from a systematic standpoint. And real quick, if y'all enjoying this show, I need everybody to hit the like button. Y'all ain't hitting the like button. I need y'all to hit the like button. And I need my following to follow or subscribe to Kevin Wesley's YouTube channel. And I need Kevin Wesley's following to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I need all of y'all to do that right now. All right. I need y'all to get to work, start pushing buttons, hitting buttons. All right. So
make it happen.
Start hitting like buttons, start hitting the subscribe buttons or whatever. Because my moderators are saying the likes are low. So I need y'all to hit the freaking like button. Y'all are tripping. So I look at everything from a systematic standpoint. If me and my ex-wife agree that nobody is disciplining our children except for us two, that is what it's going to be. And if something was to change, we're going to have to come back to the negotiation table and say, hey, we need to change something, and we need to agree on what is changed. And if we don't agree on what's changed, it ain't gonna be changed. So, you know, so that's different. If there's an agreement there,
right, there's agreement.
Because with me, you know, I believe in the waiting till your daddy get home type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm not home and my kid is acting up, my kid is my responsibility. You say, "Ooh, wait until your daddy get home." It's going to be like that. And if she gets remarried, it's going to be the same thing. Wait until your daddy gets over here. You know what I'm saying? Because to a certain degree, it happened. Well, that didn't happen, but I have kids, and now they are raised in a household under my ex-wife's new husband and her, right? It ran efficiently like that. If my kids had a problem or my kids weren't doing what they do, she gets on the phone with me. I'm like, put her on the phone. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I'll literally say, get on the phone, mama. Hey, take her TV out her room. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Next thing you know, the TV is now in the bedroom or over here in the closet or whatever. And he like, what's going on? Oh, Aaron told me to take the TV out the room. Oh, okay. You feel me? Something like that. Mm-hmm. So all together, I still discipline my kids via, it was remotely, you know what I'm saying? So if I needed to talk to my kids or whatever, they just going to put me on the phone with me. You know what I'm saying? Put them on the phone with me.
But see, you could imagine, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he was to physically punish one of your children, right? Physically discipline one of your children. Now, say that you're going to go to him with diplomacy. Now, this would infuriate a man, another man whipped his child. Like, so you're going to have to put your ego to the side and go to him with diplomacy. So you're already doing that by having a conversation, because you should be talking with your hands at this point.
Right.
You're having a conversation. If that man looks you in the eyes and says, I'll whoop him again, and if you got a problem with it, I'll whip you too, it's over. He's taken away your diplomacy. You have no other right. I mean, it's almost like you have to challenge this man.
No,
it's the worst way to handle it. Why tell you I'll do it again and you can come bring it to me? How would you handle that?
I wouldn't fight the dude right then and there. I'll back away and be like, all right, cool. I'll talk to my ex-wife and be like, all right, this man just stepped to me like blah, 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 right? So what are you going to do about this? Are you going to get rid of him, or am I going to get rid of him? See, I believe in going through the hierarchy. That's her household. That's her boyfriend or her husband, right? I don't go to him because to a certain degree, she brought him here. So I got to look at her mindset, because this is what can happen. I get to fighting with him. I win the fight or I lose the fight. She calls the police on me and make up a lie saying I attacked him. Now I got to go to jail. And then I got two people on the witness stand saying I did something that I didn't do. Now I got two people going against me. And now I could turn around and get charges put against me. Well, I might have to do 2 years in jail because I got two people on the stand saying he did this. He came to the house and blah, blah, blah. He never said that, you know? So no, because my whole thing is nobody's going to trick me off the streets.
I love that. I love that. You would consider the consequences. So you would talk to her about it. You say, okay, look, you see him disrespecting me. He's stepping to me, trying to challenge me. What are you going to do about that? Let's say she says, this is my new husband. I did give him permission. So that's what it's going to be. At that moment, wouldn't you say all the man can do at that moment is fight for custody of his child? Because if you take it into your hands physically and try and go contend with this father, you could be throwing your own life away, putting your child's life and that mother at risk. Everybody could be at risk here if you make it physical. But the new stepfather, you have to consider how toxic he is for even making that situation occur. The fact that he's now threatening you.
He is toxic because he is her choice. She is toxic.
Oh,
I got to look at my ex,
she stands for that behavior.
Not him. Because
I would say they're equally toxic for standing for that, because I wouldn't behave that way. If you showed up at my doorstep saying don't whip my kid, I'm not going to talk shit to you because I understand you have a child and I whipped your kid. So if I'm going to do that, it's something wrong with me too.
That's what I'm saying, because if you open your window right now, are you going to get mad at flies being in your house? You open the window.
Right.
So he is like a fly that my ex brought into the house. I can't be mad at the fly that's in the house. So he is a byproduct of her. I need to look at her. who is this woman that I'm no longer with? And how is she bringing all these weirdos into the house? And I'm going to read super chats in 1 second. Everybody hit the like button and drop a super chat. We're going to read the super chats in a second. And if you want to ask either one of us a question, drop it in the super chat also. Cash App Aaron 1000. And if anybody is enjoying this conversation, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to either person's channel that you have not subscribed to. So if she becomes somebody that I can't deal with anymore, because that sometimes happens, she falls in love, she gets stigmatized by this new dude, and now I no longer have control over everything. Two things is going to happen. One, I'm going to talk to a lawyer and see what my rights are at getting my kids. I'm going to talk to my kids and find out what do they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And then once we get that understood, now I'm going to take it into my own hands. And I'm not just going to straight up confront the dude because I'm going to go to jail, but something is just going to mysteriously happen to him. He's going to slip and fall and land on his face. And I'm not around for him to blame me. So something's going to happen to him.
Your goal would be to try to fix this without a consequence, but you know it goes past diplomacy at this point. Because as a man, this is why I encourage all men, try and create your own family. Because if you're in a situation where your child is being physically punished by another man and the mother's allowing it, typically the children live with the mother. So now this child is living with this man who you know is physically punishing him. And you can't do anything about it unless you're willing to go fight this man, because he already said, show up again and I got something for you. Right. And so you got to imagine the torment of knowing your child is being physically hit and you know, they're coming back and telling you what's happening. Now, if you're the mother in this situation, typically the child lives with you and you can just, you know, say you can't have the child and make him take you to court. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But before I go beat him up, I think I would try and I might kidnap my own kid. I might just, next time I get my child, hey, before he end up and fall on his face and I'm in jail for that, I might figure out a way to get my child.
Here's the thing, Kevin. Your job as a protector is to be able to be in a position to continue to be a protector. You know what I'm saying? If you kidnap the kids, you're going to go to jail. If you go in the house, I know
if I'm the father. I think if you're the father, there's a difference. I think it matters if you're the father. If you're the actual father, then she has to take you to court for custody at that point.
No, I'm saying if she, because I actually know somebody who actually is living his life right now, right? And I instructed him to have a conversation with the man. All right. So the first thing I would do is talk to the man, because he now is the man of the house, especially if he's a new husband, right? I would say, all right, so look, how do we fix this? Because I don't want to fight you and I don't want no problems with my kids. You have control of that household right now. All right. I don't want to go to jail, but something has to give. So what are we going to do about it? Now, if I come in a diplomatic way and he's still like, yo, I don't, then he's just going to show up. Something's going to happen. I don't want to say nothing on YouTube.
Because you know this is deeper than parenting your child and what's best for your child at this point. This is some type of thing between you and him, right? You can tell.
He's going to end up in a car accident.
Right.
He's just going to end up in a car accident and it's going to be like, oh, wow, damn, that's crazy. He's just going up in a car accident.
And that's why I say, men, it's best to just try and start your own families. But let's do it. I don't want to take you too far off, man. Let's have this build about the stepfather.
Okay. But that was a great dialogue right there, because I think it'll be helpful to men and women out here. So to the men watching, never allow a man to trick you off the streets. I don't care how disrespectful a man is. You go in a certain emotional direction, you will end up in prison, especially if the girlfriend or the wife will literally vouch for him and take the witness stand and be on his side. You going to prison or you going to jail for 2 years. You the one who's going to be looking stupid. You're going to lose your job, lose your car, lose your apartment, and lose your kids. Because that could turn into domestic violence.
Or worse, it could cost you your life.
Because now you got domestic violence. You feel me? Even though you fight the dude, if you fight the dude in her house, it's still domestic violence.
and it could cost you your life. Two men get to fighting,
And
you know that right there is a risk of death. You know, men are very strong. We don't always fight fair, and somebody ain't always gonna let you get the best of them, and let alone start something with them in their own house.
Right. Because, you know, depending on who you are, you know, the dude can, you know, mysteriously slip on something, you know, fall on his face, or, you know, getting off of work. All of a sudden, you know, something happens while he's getting off of work. There's ways for you to deal with things where you won't end up in jail. And I don't condone any violence or whatever. I'm just saying stuff can happen to people, and next thing you know, you're like, oh damn, what happened? Oh wow, that's crazy. I was over here when that happened. You feel me?
And you know what's terrible is to even be in a situation like that anyway, where your child is in a condition and you know you want to protect them, and by any means necessary, you're willing to do things of that nature just to protect them. It's much better to just be with the mother of your child, and both of y'all be right there together raising your baby, man.
But that used to happen.
Good people can be pushed to doing some of the most egregious things. When it comes to that, like you said, he ended up in a wreck, and you're not the type of person, but to protect your child, yo, we will become anything.
I am that type of person.
That's why I say it's just best to maintain your own family, start your own, man.
Yeah, but I just want to say I am that person. I'm very I'm very protective. You know what I'm saying? So somebody would easily lose their lives, and it won't be my fault why they lost their lives, but they'll mysteriously lose their whole life messing with me, mysteriously, just out of nowhere. You like, it'll be like a ghost, and I'm going to be at home. So I'm not violent, but violence would mysteriously happen to you. Mess with me. So let's read these super chats real quick, and we're going to go back to the actual situation with the stepdad. Shout out to Chef Works. Thank you for the super sticker. Shout out to Cookie. Sir, you need to be in Hollywood. He had me food. Exactly right. Chef Works said, gentlemen, please leave Simpology University. Cookie comes back with another super chat. She says, Mr. Wesley, respect. He broke agreement and trust. That's all facts. Chef Works says, circumstances are real tricky. Stepmom, stepdad situations can be crazy. Flight Night, shout out to Flight Night. He says, I'm going to start calling Mr. Let Go the equalizer. Cookie says, Mr. Let Go trying to slide that unsolved mystery past us. Exactly. It's going to be a whole unsolved mystery. I ain't going to have nothing to do with it. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to have witnesses. I ain't do nothing. I'm just going to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. What happened? Oh, man. And old boy just going to be gone. Problem solved. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So really quick, y'all, I need y'all to contribute to the channel. Thank you for the people who have already contributed via super chat, which is in the chat, or either Cash App is Aaron1000. What's your Cash App, Kevin?
$ Rise Inreach Center.
Rise in what?
$ Rise Inreach Center.
Rise Inreach, I-N-Reach or E-N-D?
Yeah, I-N, like in reach, like opposite of outreach, in reach. Yeah.
Okay, Rise Inreach Center. Okay, Rise Inreach Center. And if anybody wants to play a fun card game real quick, because this is more or less not just fun, but this is something that I believe in bringing to the community. So y'all like, why he keep pushing this card game? Because it's something that can actually help you as an individual. Because like I said, I believe in putting people in a position where they can help themselves. So real quick, this is the card game.
Deeper Discussion card game is meant to give you and other players deep understanding of how we all deal with relationship, when or if things get serious. One of the biggest reasons why people break up is because of underlying family issues. This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. What is the one thing you wanted but didn't receive when you were young? Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad. What is the most annoying attribute about the opposite sex?
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. It'll even tell you what's wrong with your sneaky link. If you and your sneaky link need to have a conversation, these are the cards.
And you can fix yourself and
And
figure out the why.
Texture, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
Like they ain't gonna get
really
wore out. After
durable.
All right. So, an anonymous one says, "Thank you for the super chat. As men, we learn how to fight physically. We know so little about how the law and legal proceedings. The rings we fight in is a courtroom in 2023. We are woefully unprepared to fight." So, I want to add something to that, because they said something important. The rings we fight in. See, there's something called a ring camera. Ring, right? If you go over somebody's house, bamming on the door, hey, going in, hey, and then y'all scuffling or whatever, right? There's a good possibility that ring camera is going to hear everything going on in that house. So next thing you know, you going over there trying to take up for your kids because something crazy done happened, and everything is in the ring camera, video or audio, and all they got to do is take it to court and say, Aaron came in here and came in here and did this and da 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 da. Now you going to prison because it's on a ring camera or it's on a ring camera audio. You ain't got nothing to say. You can sit around and say, well, this happened. He did this. So why you go in that woman's house acting a fool? Now you don't lost everything. And you got evidence. You got 2 witnesses and the ring camera audio. You screwed. So we have to be diplomatic when it comes to different things like that. Because like I said, if the only way you can protect your kids, if you're in position to protect your kids, you can't protect your kids from nobody in jail. So go back to the scenario.
My bad. This is why I always try to encourage men mainly, but women as well, to have mental fortitude, because us not being emotionally equipped to handle tough conversations is why we fly off the handle. And even during these conversations, we're having them in ego, which is why most of you even have to go to court about it, because we can't seem to talk about it. But if you get over emotional and act out, you can throw your whole life away. If you go to physically attacking somebody or physically threatening somebody, as soon as you say, I'll beat your tail, that's a threat that can land you in jail. And like, we have to start thinking about that. We're really like, I always say we're not free. And people get upset when I say that. But if we were free, you could full well go handle your business yourself. But no, you have to go to the office on them. You have to go report them. Someone can physically do something to you, and you have to go take them to court. You can't go back to them and do something to them. It's just not the way it goes. And you can see a lot of, especially black men, fall into their demise because we act more off instinct. Somebody offend you, somebody jump you, somebody hit you. You go get your people and you come back and get them. Well, you should have went to the courthouse. You should have went to the jailhouse and filed a restraining order, got them for assaulting you. But black men typically don't do that. Now, white men will. White men will call the cops and say, he assaulted me. And he will use the police that's supposed to be there for everybody. Black men will go handle it themselves. So it's almost like when you don't understand the world you live in, it becomes a trap to you. Someone sitting here calling you an N-word or doing something to you to bring the worst out of you, like Mr. Let Go said, they're tricking you off the streets because you're not seeing the rabbit in the box with the stick holding it up. This person who just called you out your name and offended you, they just set a trap for you. And when you physically go handle this because they made you mad or hurt your feelings, you're going to be in jail because the government doesn't care if you were mad or they hurt your feelings. What the government is saying, when you get mad and they hurt your feelings, you come to us. You don't handle it yourself. That's like these 3 girls who jumped the white girl for calling them an N-word. Honestly, you should have just got your feelings hurt and went about your business. You can't follow her outside of Walmart and give her the beats, man. You going to jail. And in jail is for people like that, for people who don't know how to handle their anger. Even though somebody did you wrong and they said something that hurt your feelings, took you all the way back to 100 years from now, you still can't go physically attack them. And when you live in a world where if you're a man and they're a woman and you know that it's on their side, or if you're white and you're black and in a lot of cases it's on their side, don't let them trap you with the government system. If you react to that crap, man, you out of there. I'm telling you. The person's absolutely right when he said we don't know how to fight in court. We don't. We want to get our pain and suffering back with our fists. And a lot of times, man, you're just gonna have to sue these people or use these systems to keep these people away from you so you don't give them your worst. I'm a fighter too. And my natural response is to go get that person back. It's not to call the police. But if I want to be safe in this world and protect myself and my children, man, I got to pick up that phone like everybody else. I can't go say you did what to me and then show up ready to attack. Like Mr. Let Go said, now you're on the ring light coming to confront them for something they did to you. And nobody's going to care once you go out of your way to do that. Nobody's going to care.
So the only time I get physically violent and it's just right then and there is if somebody comes in my space and it's some random situation. And mainly I'll back off of a dude if it's me by myself, because I don't care about my ego. I'll be like, I don't want no problems, right? But if I'm with a woman, I will be more physically violent if I'm with a woman, because my job is to make sure she makes it home to her mama or her daddy or her kids or whatever. You feel me? So I would be more physically violent with a woman versus by myself, because I can run, I can duck, I can hide behind a car. But if I got a woman with me, I can't turn around and run. Or I can't turn around and do it. She gonna be like, you feel me? So altogether, my job is to protect her. So when it comes to physical violence, it's almost always a no. But when it comes to that, you got to know when to go and when not to go. And when you go, you got to go crazy. And because the thing about it is, when it comes to, because, you know, it could be somebody trying to rob you or whatever, give it up, give it to them. Don't try. At the end of the day, your number one job is to, one, live to the next day, the person that is with you to live to the next day, and for neither one of you to go to jail. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's a certain point where you just got to be like, oh, you got it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, man, you can't get tricked off these streets, and you can't get tricked off of this planet.
And you have to plan for this. You have to know that people are going to draw you off your square. People are going to offend you. And when they do, you know what's best for you to do at that moment is leave, not confront. But if you don't tell yourself this stuff ahead of time, you'll find yourself in a situation, an instinct to take over. Example, if you're with your girl and you know you have to be her protector, you guys should have a conversation about what to do in what situations. So if I'm with my lady and some dude walk up wanting to fight, I'm telling my lady to get my keys, go to the car, and call the police. I don't want her standing there watching me fight. I don't want her standing there at all so she can be part of a casualty at all. Get far away from me, go get in the car, wait for me, or call the police. And if it's a worse situation, I might have her take off running and scream for help. But never in a situation do I want her there protecting me, even if I'm getting jumped. I'd rather take the L. It makes no sense for us both to be laying there stomped out. My only reason for protecting her is so she gets away. So run, get away from me in this moment. And I'll hold them off so you can get away. But I'm not standing there fighting in front of my girl. You can go ahead to the car, because I don't want ego in it. You understand? Or I don't want her actually being hurt.
Yeah. So for anybody watching, I'm glad you brought that up, because we gotta and we're gonna go back to the stepdaddy situation, but this has become so like deep and like it's a lot of different avenues that we're going down real quick. So as a man or as a woman, as if you and your date are walking, right, and say three dudes walk up and it's like, oh yeah, you Mr. Let Go. Oh yeah, I hate how you said we about to do this, do that, right? The first thing I'm gonna do is pull my keys out and throw them the opposite direction and tell her to go get them and just get out of here. Get in my car and drive away. Yeah. Don't sit in the car, get in my car and drive away. Because one, I don't want them to take my car. And two, I don't want them to do none of you. Just leave me. Just go. You feel me? You got my car, you're safe. You know, drive around the corner, call the police, you know, circle back in your car or something. But the bottom line is, I'm just going to be like, go. You go catch my keys, you run, because me throwing the keys just gave you a head start where you can take off running to the keys. You feel me? And you could just keep running and just get to the car, get in the car, drive away. because one, if they robbing me, I don't want them to take my car. Take the keys, take the car, because I got my car keys. Take everything, so they can only beat me up and take whatever they got out of my wallet or whatever. Call the police and circle back when you think it's okay. And if I'm on the ground or whatever, help me in the car and take me to the hospital, and we good. At least they ain't take my car. They ain't did none of you. We good. Because the thing about it is, men can catch a woman if she starts running. What's she running to? Women, they don't know what the hell to do. They go, they're going to run in the wrong direction. You feel me? But if you give them the keys, now they know exactly where to go, what to do. You know what I'm saying? And they can drive my car to their house. Don't even come back and get me. Just make sure you safe. You feel me? So that's what I would do in that situation, because your number one job is to make sure you protect the woman that you're with. And if you with a woman that you don't want to protect, one, you're not a man, and two, you with the wrong type of woman.
Don't even ask her out if you're not willing to do that. That's stupid that she even with somebody who won't even make sure she's straight. And
just invite her of your house. Just invite her of your house where you ain't got to be out with her. But if you out with a woman, that woman deserves your protection because you chose to be out with her.
Right.
She is now your responsibility.
Now let's say she takes off running. Now you're gonna stand there and make sure those men don't chase her. But if it's more than one, it's 2 or 3 guys, I would advise men not to even stand there and fight. That's not your fight. They got beef with you. They just walked up and said, "You, Mr. Let Go, I ain't like what you said." I don't care if you don't like what I said. I ain't gotta fight you. Soon as she out of sight, I may even take off running. I got children at home. I got children at home, man. So I'll run, get far enough away from them, and hit her up, have her pick me up somewhere, and then I'm going to file a restraining order. It's that simple, man. Like, you don't always have to stand here and fight and put your life at risk and try to be a tough guy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just the way to protect yourself and your family. Protect her first, then protect yourself. We got to start thinking protect ourselves before defend ourselves. Defend yourself is when you backed into a corner. Protecting yourself should be the first thing that you're thinking about. And sometimes that means run. That don't make you a coward. That makes you live longer, man. Sometimes you're running from these consequences. So I know what I'm capable of. So if somebody pissed me off and I put my hands on them, I know I'm going to prison. So it's better that I just get myself away from that person. So if I take off running, don't even think I'm scared. That's not the case. Smart people are tactical, man.
You could call me scared. I don't care, because that's the biggest thing, Kevin. And I want the audience to understand. You can say I'm scared. I'm scared because guess what? I'm scared in real life. If 3 dudes run up on me going like this, I'm scared. It's nothing wrong with saying you're scared. I'm scared.
See, because I grew up fighting. I boxed. I would be licking my chops. But in a real world where there's consequences, I got to get away to protect myself. I would honestly see it as a challenge. I wouldn't feel fear wouldn't be my first thing because I'm trained in that area. Once you fought so much, fear just isn't something you naturally feel. So for people who are not afraid, they got to have a template of rules to go by. Fear is a good tool. But once you don't have that, you can't just say I'm not scared, so therefore fight. You got to be like, even if you're not scared, run.
Run.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Run. Because we get shamed like that in school. If you walk away from an encounter, they say you're scared or you're a punk. So school really conditions you to be a criminal. If you take that to your adulthood, you're gonna be saying nobody gonna pump me, ain't nobody getting away with doing this to me, and you're gonna handle things in the worst way because of conditioning from school. So bad behavior is praised in school. You can't walk away from no fight. You about to get clowned. In fact, as soon as the offense is said to you, the crowd oohs and ahs. So they're going to inflame the situation to provoke a worse reaction from you. This is literally school. You get taught this. And then that becomes social media. Somebody insults you on social media. Now you got 1 million fans commenting saying, you going to let them do that to you? Or look what they said to you. It's just to inflame you. You can't live in that world. It'll get the best of you every time.
Because, and somebody said, pow, pow. Well, depending on what city you in, depending on what state you are in, if you don't know your rights, pow, pow, even though you defend yourself, you can turn around and still end up in jail looking stupid, because the bottom line is, I'm not pulling no strap out just because something's going on. I'm going to look to protect myself and get out of the way. Now, if I run or if I dip out over here and they chase me, now it's pow, pow, because now it's a different scenario, because wherever we go, there's cameras. So I'm thinking about proof. I'm thinking about, you know, because if 3 dudes walk up to me and it's a camera right there, right? And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. The camera is going to see nothing. The camera isn't even going to see aggression. A camera isn't going to see what they said. It's just going to look. And one of the dudes can turn around and say, we were fans of Mr. Let Go. We wanted an autograph. And he just started pow, pow, pow. Now I'm in prison. No, it needs to be some type of struggle. It needs to be a chase. Because if I start running and they chase me, now they can't say, hey, we just wanted his autograph. Okay, why you was chasing him? Now is a reason for the pow pow.
Exactly. That's why you run first. That's why you run first.
There's no audio on these cameras.
Look, even if you have to pull a weapon, you should always be increasing the distance between you and that target. Be backing away. Telling them, I don't want to shoot, back away. Treat them like a cop would. Don't just go pow pow, man. I really wish we cared more about each other's lives than that. Like just the pow. Now, honestly, if they coming up to you to attack you, at that point we can't say they care about their own life. But still, especially if something like that happens, it's probably a crowd of people. It's probably at night in a public area. You don't want to go let no bullets off, man. If you have to pull it out by any means necessary, you should be constantly stepping away from that person, telling them to back down. And run should still be your first priority, man. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, somebody says pow pow equals a jail.
Right, exactly. because something may make sense to you in this moment, to the innocent bystanders, they're gonna have a different view of it. So when you see 2 people arguing, typically people are gonna be biased when it comes to taking that side because they don't hear it all. So when you're sitting there going at it with somebody, know that everybody ain't about to be on your side because you have a view of it. They're gonna look at that thing from the outside, and then the jurors they call in to look at this situation wasn't even there to see it happen. So I'm telling you, man, it ain't gonna go in your favor. It's not best to react with violence and things of that nature, man. Use them police. They're supposed to be there for you. Now we don't like the police. We got a lot of trauma. We've seen a lot of movies where we end up on the bad side of police. But I really wish we could set our fears to the side, our traumas to the side, and just use the police when somebody assaults you, offends you, threaten to come to your house, man. Call them first. You don't understand how much you're protecting yourself by doing that. If a man came up and tried to threaten me, I'm going to the police and get a restraining order on him. Therefore, that way, if he comes near me and I have to defend myself with a pow pow, I went to the police first. But I'm not sitting here saying, yo, if he come near me, we're going to see what happened and then just wait for that to happen. I'm not doing very well protecting my own self then, because I know I live in a world that ain't really, that's built a whole different way. Got to navigate according to that world.
Yeah. So let's go back to the actual video. I'm just going to play a little bit of the video just to catch everybody else, just in case somebody's like, all right, what is going on right here? So I'm playing a little bit of this, and then we're going to keep on this video.
My stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's going to walk her down.
Hold up. And everybody hit the like button. Some of y'all have not hit the like button already. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Drop a super chat if you have anything to say that you want us to read. I'll be reading super chats in a minute.
A-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's going to walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her and her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, she didn't fight for that. I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they could have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said,
real quick, I just got a question to you.
Okay.
Because this is a real scenario with this guy. Why do you think this guy was so upset about his friends not being invited to the wedding? Don't nobody care about no wedding.
So I did a live right after the video, right? Just to because people didn't agree with the video. So I want to go live and talk with the people.
Yeah.
One of my questions was, does the stepfather's family get involved?
Right. Well, yeah, I understand that.
You know, you're gonna want to know both halves of your real family. You want to know your grandmothers, your uncles, and stuff on the real side of the family. But because I never had a step parent come into my life, I don't know that a child gets familiar with the step parent's family. I know you get familiar with the step parent because you have to, but I didn't know that stepfathers would be that invested. Like, I got 20 people that I want to see come to my stepdaughter's wedding. But I mean, I looked at it like this. If that was his concern, that's one of the reasons he was overly invested. But if he asked them that up front and they said they would, they should have. That's probably one of the few things I said they did him wrong on. Because if they said it, if they said I'll let 20 people come, they should have let those 20 people come. That's wrong to say yeah and then send them just something acknowledging the wedding. If you tell the man you're gonna have the people come, at least let the people come. Like,
why?
Because you told him. Like, you got to be a man of your word, right? Like, that's the only thing that makes him wrong.
This is a daughter. She's not a man of a word.
Right. I wouldn't have asked that as a stepfather. Even if I was footing the bill for the wedding, I wouldn't have a criteria or a stipulation on who came. But if I asked and they told me yeah, then I would say they're wrong because they went back on their word. And then I got to find out the hard way. They could have at least said, no, we're not going to have 20 people because we don't have enough room. Instead of me coming back to them and asking them about it, now they tell me they don't have enough room. That shows me they don't respect him. So they don't respect him at all. If you tell somebody something and do something blatantly different, and then you don't even give them a heads up, you don't have much respect for them.
Well, I just look at women differently. They don't cross the T's and dot their I's. They just do stuff. You know,
well, they told them they would, though. I don't care about the rest.
You said man of your word. Women don't have a word like a man has a word. So you said man of your word. There's no phrase that says be a woman of your word, because women don't have a word. Women just say stuff. They change their minds. Don't change their minds every time the wind blow. Like, you can't be a woman of your word.
Exactly why they got to be a woman of their word. You understand? Because they know they're
women.
Okay. So based on a woman's biology, okay, they are moody and they can't help that.
Yeah, right? They like this. Right. How you gonna be a woman of your word and your brain is going like this?
Right. But the way I raised my daughter is dignity, okay, and integrity is keeping your word and being able to move a certain way, even when you're highly emotional. See, think about this. This is where women struggle. If you're in a conversation, having a different conversation with your lady, say she gets upset about something that you said or did, and say maybe you really did slip up and address it in the wrong way. Say you apologize for how your tone or something that you may have said. Yeah. She may say, I forgive you, but if she's still mad, she don't know how to not be mad. She don't know how to act, how to not be pouty. You see what I'm saying? And we men are not, we taught to toughen our upper lip up and shut up before you get a reason to cry. So we have to get over it. But I teach my daughter like you would teach a male as well, because I think we all can master our emotions if we're taught this as children. Now, little girls aren't taught this as children, and I think that's why they're underdeveloped. But I do think they have the propensity to, though.
And I don't know if you know this, but I say women are children. So
yes,
yeah, I say women are children. So because you're a child emotionally, you know, women leave marriages, women just do all kinds of stupid mess. So in this scenario, not only is this woman a woman, she's a young woman. She's like 20, you know, I'm assuming she's 19, 20, 25 or whatever. She ain't got no words. She just all over the place. So for this man, grown man, to be like, yo, you won't invite my friends to my step. I'm not kidding about your little stupid people.
Right. I would have never went to my stepdaughter, so-called stepdaughter, in that regard. If I were to talk to anybody about it, it would have been my wife. I would have said, listen, I am paying for the wedding. Why would you? Because I know she's probably high in the moment, the daughter is. but I need you to keep her reminded of these things.
Right.
Because I wouldn't blame nothing on my daughter in this time, because it's not his wedding, it's her wedding. She's
her
probably
wedding
sitting with the groom coming up with things about this wedding, and she shouldn't have to consider her stepfather, even though he paid for it. She shouldn't have to. So I would only deal with the mother. So let's just say I'm dealing with this guy, right? As a stepfather. My first question to him is, what does he see in this mother, in the mother of the child? I do want to know what he thinks of her looks, not to be on some Kevin Samuels 1 to 10, even though I think that's a good criteria. But I want to know how he sees her on a scale from 1 to 10. Because if he thinks she's a dime piece, that probably tells me why he's putting up with all this bullshit. Okay? Because men really do strongly care about looks. If you're really beautiful, his way of life, his well-being, he'll be happier. So he will settle for a woman out of her beauty, even if she don't have the character. So I would just ask him, what did you see in her? And then I would go to her character. What does she bring to the table? Why would you choose this lady? I would ask him if he had children of his own. The reason I'd ask him that is because a lot of men be better stepfathers than they are real fathers. And that pisses me off, that they'll be over here really, because they're in the home with this stepchild, they're way better for the stepchild. But they really don't check on the other child. And so the other child grows up with a broken heart because they're watching this child that ain't even his child get shit that they can't get. Every time he go out to eat, that stepchild get to go out to eat. They get daddy every other weekend, if that. But this stepkid get the benefit from everything that their daddy is doing, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, do you have your own kids? And then number two, number three, if he did not have his own child, well, you dated her for 10 years. Did you not plan to have children? That's a long time to be with somebody for 10 years and did not have a family. So you're that invested in her child, right? Now, 10 years you've been in her life.
In a woman, because my thing is this. You talking all this mess about your stepdaughter getting married. Why the hell you ain't married the stepdaughter's mama?
Why ain't you even marry her? You want to be a stepdaddy, but you didn't even marry her yet. So this is my thing. See, what if he said something like, I don't have kids and I can't have kids? Okay, that may be an example of why explain why he's so emotionally invested. But I would say to that brother, go adopt. You don't go buy kids from mothers out here. Even if you want a child with all your heart, brother, go adopt. That means that this child is yours regardless of the relationship with this woman. Because as soon as that relationship ends, man, the mother is not going to let you be active in that child's life like that. And the daughter probably ain't going to want you to be either. Let's be real. It's a thankless job. So you married this woman because you love her. If you with this woman because you love her, then you're not with her because you loved her daughter. So to me, if a man wants a child in his life and he wants a daughter or a son, he'd go adopt that child. And that means I want you to be my child. I went to an agency or whatever and adopted you. But basically, you're her baby, you're her stepfather or acting stepfather by default. She just happens to be the woman that you're in love with child. That's it. And now you're getting emotionally invested because you did some shit for her? That's crazy. Because you do something for her ain't gonna make her naturally see you as a father. She has a father.
Right.
So she's not gonna say because you did some good deeds for me. And that's great that he did that. He helped her with a car, helped her with tuition. She may have not have gotten access to those things had he not done that. But it still ain't gonna make her see him as a daddy. And it sounds like that's what he wants. So his intent is fucked up, if you ask me.
I agree.
If I'm a stepdaddy, I'm a kind person, so I may have actually done that for my stepdaughter. If it's my stepdaughter, right?
Yeah.
I'll do stuff for you, but I won't leave you my inheritance. I will leave my inheritance to my children, but I will look out for you in life. So only if I can afford tuition and a car will I do that. If I can't afford it, you on your own. You gotta get the grades to get a scholarship, and you're gonna have to get your credit up and get you a car. Because I can't do it if I don't have it. I ain't breaking my own kid's bank. Because if you ask me, he robbing his own children. If he wants children, he robbing his future children. And if he has children, now I promise you he got a gun to their head. Because he giving their inheritance away to some daughter, some of his girlfriend's daughter for school. Man, that's your kid's school right there.
Exactly. So my thing is, let's cut back on the cussing a little bit.
Yeah, excuse me.
So on YouTube. My thing is this in this scenario that really bothered me. I really look down on men who overstep their boundaries financially in order to get a feeling of dominance over a situation. I'm dominant over a situation with no money. I don't have to overextend myself in order to gain dominance over a household, right? Because one thing is about leadership and the other thing is about paying for stuff, right? That's like paying for followers on Instagram or something like that. You can't pay your way into dominating an environment. You know what I'm saying? So with me, I'm not doing all that. I'm not buying you no car because I want to teach you like things about life. I'm not paying for your tuition. I need you to learn how that all these things cost, you know? So even if I had a whole bunch of money, no, I need you to figure this out. I need you to suffer a little bit. I need you to see how life actually is, because my job as a father or a stepfather is to show you that life is difficult. We are here to support you, but life is difficult. And you're going to get out here and figure life out. And I'm going to be your backup plan. I'm not going to be your plan. I'm going to be your backup plan. So I need you to figure out how to pay for school. I need you to work and go to school, or I need you to get some loans or whatever. I need you to see, how the loan process works, because if you can get a school loan, you can get a car loan. I need you to learn how to obtain a loan. I need you to learn how to buy a car. I'm going to go with you. I might put money down on the car, but the car is going to be in your name, or I'll co-sign if I have to. But you going to be on it. So if you default on a loan, your credit is going to mess up, just like with my credit is going to mess up. I ain't going to just do everything for nobody. And I'm like that with my own kids.
No, that's absolutely right. This is this quote that says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child," meaning if you don't discipline them, then you'll spoil them, right? But you also spoil them by giving them the world too. And that's what a lot of us parents do. We don't want our children to suffer at all, so we try and give them the world. But when you do, you don't give them structure. So what your way would be the best way to handle that. Even if I have the funds to pay for school, I'd rather you get a school loan so you can learn discipline and paying your bills on time, build your credit, so now you can get your own car, or vice versa, however that looks. But if I go buy you a car, now you didn't get to learn the discipline of what it takes to purchase a car. So now you're a grown-ass kid out here, which is why women are children. I swear to God, they don't get the same discipline that a man gets, that he has to go get it out the mud. We mostly go and make sure life's easier for them. So they go through life feeling entitled that you must do these things for them. And that's what will happen with your child. You remember when it was some celebrity, that was it wasn't Dr. Dre, but 50 Cent. Okay. His son comes out saying that he didn't get enough money growing up for child support and things of that nature, when he was getting an astronomical amount. And the mother was suggesting that he should have Jordans out the wazoo, and he should have bought you more pairs than that just because he can afford them. Like, no, he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have bought you a bunch of shoes just because he can afford them. You should have still had one pair of shoes just like the other kids. Just because you have more as a parent don't mean that you give your kids more as a child. They still have to earn and understand life. You see, and now this kid grows up speaking negatively about his own daddy, who really did more for him than most of our daddies ever could. Even the ones who were there in their life. You see what I'm saying? Because the understanding of it is they're entitled. You should buy them shoes because you got it, daddy. What sense do that make? Right. It ain't your money, it's my money. Yeah, I can buy all the shoes I want because I went and earned it. I want you to go earn it too. I don't want to spoil you now.
But I would say this. I think 50 Cent is trash for how he handled his son. Since we're talking about kids and whatever and grown kids, I think 50 Cent is pure trash for how he handled his son, because it goes back to the day one. He chose, just like we talk about how women choose losers. I call women pookie pickers and loser choosers, right? A lot of these women choose loser men and get mad at the loser man for not taking care of the child, right? He got with a loser woman and got mad at her for brainwashing him to be a loser. That's his fault. That is his seed. So the bottom line is, we as men have to make better decisions in the women we nut in, just like women have to make better decisions in the men that they let nut in them. So I think 50 Cent is trash in that situation, because at the end of the day, I know he's building his life as a rapper and all this other stuff, but 50 Cent was in the hood. He was a hood dude, right? So in all honesty, it was a Pookie that got with a female Pookie and they made a Pookie baby. So I'm not mad at the Pookie baby because a Pookie and a female Pookie made him. So of course he's a Pookie. He did that. He did that. You know, because at the end, if you just think about this, if 50 Cent, and I'm not saying he wasn't, but if 50 Cent was making all that money in the hood, why do you get with this fat, dumb chick? Why you have a baby with this dumb, fat chick? She was fat.
I think she may have been in his life before he made it big, and he even wanted to stay with it. She actually didn't want to be with him.
He was a drug dealer. He was a drug dealer.
Okay, but I know they met before he was famous. I think he
had money before he was famous. He ran Jamaica Queen. So my whole point is, we men have to be careful of who we date. You know, that's all I'm saying. So if you know how dudes be like, yo, I got girls when I was in high school. Okay, why you got a fat, dumb money? 50 is a dude, like 6'2" or whatever. Why you get with this ugly fat chick and ain't got no sense? You get what I'm saying? So as men, no matter where you are in your life, if you can't get no good woman, you need to build your life up until you can get a good. You having a goofy baby mama and a goofy child, but both of y'all made that goofy child. If your child is a Pookie, you made that child as a man or as a woman. I hold men accountable for making Pookie babies, just like I hold women accountable for making Pookie babies. The majority of these little stupid little people out here that's 20 and 25, they're idiots. Why? Because their parents were idiots.
Sure. So one of the major mistakes I think 50 Cent made while just dealing with that altercation, of course, you spoke to the mistakes he made, how he made this child with this girl, right? And how he let money raise his child instead of him being there to raise his child. That's what ended up in this mess. So I think he handled his child more like a peer instead of his child. So he got angry at his child for disrespecting him, for making this a public issue. When I believe he should have saw it as his child is his child. He's underdeveloped than him. You got to look at it like it's your child to make the best decisions for raising your future self and get them the help that they need. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not like that's just some mojo who did this to you. It is your flesh and blood. And so you do have to consider all that went into their development up until this stage. Just because you're looking at a grown man don't mean he a grown man. You're looking at a grown body, but the mind that he has is that of his mother's. And so you can't just target that person as if that's your peer and get on to them for their actual behavior. You got to deal with them like they're a child. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, see, if I was 50 Cent, I would have been dogging the mother and not the son, because the mother and the mother is the reason why the son is like this. You know what I'm saying? So somebody said I was a drug dealer. My ex-wife was a bad bitch. So I don't know what you talk about. My ex-wife was a bad bitch when she was young. So I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't choose no fat, ugly chick that won't let me see my kids. My kids are good. My kids are smart because I picked a woman that has a head on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't perfect, but I wasn't perfect. But the thing about it is, for those of you saying that, well, I didn't pick wrong. I just picked a woman that I chose. You know, it didn't go right, but I didn't pick wrong. So I just wanted to say that we got to pick better people. They don't have to be perfect people. We ain't got to be with these people. But you have a baby with somebody which is frowned upon, and the person you had a baby with is trash, whether it's a male or female, that means you are trash also because you picked that person.
Yes, and one of my queens said, I'm talking about Lil Romeo. I know Lil Romeo's situation is a little bit different. He was talking about Master P wasn't really making the money that he said he made. And I think Master P was more there with his son. So no, it was definitely 50 Cent. But it's one comment I saw that spoke out to me, man. Somebody said that children can sometimes feel really strong feelings for their stepfather, like fatherly type feelings. And I want you guys to understand, I wasn't saying that they won't. I was saying that doing financial deeds is not going to do that. You have to earn a relationship. If you're a step parent and that stepchild sees you as a real parent, or they romanticize that relationship to that degree, you've earned this by being there for this child in their time of need, in time of emotional need. You spent time, you've thrown the ball, you've taken them to the mall. You've actually spent time with this child, right? Been
like
there
I
for
said,
them.
I did, right?
Right.
I threw
You
the
built a
football
real
with this young
relationship
boy.
with the child. And that's
I
what a stepfather should do.
genuinely the
A
relationship with
relationship.
the son and the daughter. I
Right.
wasn't just running around paying for all this stuff. I ain't even do a lot financially
Right.
because them ain't my kids.
They're not your kids.
I built a great relationship with the son and the daughter to the point where they got grown. They invited me to their graduation, and that just warmed my heart because I'm like, yo, I did right by a woman. I did right by a woman's kids. I did right by a man's kids. You feel me? And after the graduation, the father invited me to the house and we all hung out.
See, that's powerful. That's what you call really building a family. Everybody knows their role and nobody tries to usurp the other's role. Take the one time where I think the real father might have blundered in how he spoke to the child saying you sucked. I think there's other ways for him to say that. But you being a stepfather saying, okay, you could have made that worse by saying he shouldn't have said that to you. I wouldn't have said that to you. I wouldn't have done all of that. You see,
well, I was saying you suck, but I was saying it in a joking way.
Right,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? It was a joking way. He meant like, yo, you sucked out there after a performance that was hurtful. I'm saying you suck after you drop a ball in the middle of the street.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then in that case, you got him saying to you, well, you have a right because you work with me. So now you can understand that even though this child is with this new man doing all these things with him, he still resents his father for not being there. So that's why I say stepfathers cannot replace a real father. Even if they get this new man to go to their games with them, guess who still wasn't there? Their daddy. And they're gonna remember that shit.
Daddy. I agree. I agree.
So that's why I say the man made a mistake when he said, well, she loves her daddy, but he always letting her down. And that ain't gonna stop her from loving her daddy. See, like contrary to popular belief, man, the people who look at men for utility is often the baby mother. The child is not gonna look at their father for utility. Your daddy's gonna be able to beat up anybody. He's gonna be Superman, the apple of your eye. You want to look like your daddy, talk like your daddy, had a swag of your daddy, whether or not he rich, poor, it does not matter. And where a lot of women go wrong is they try and find a suitable daddy for their ego.
For her.
Right, for her.
Yes.
If you tell your child, I picked this man because he's more resourceful, your child will tell you, I don't care. I want my real daddy. I want to know my real father so I can see where my gifts come from, where my features come from, why I act like this. I don't want you to pick somebody because they got more money than my daddy. Whoever you slept with, man, be honest. I think any child would say that. I don't think any child would say, nah, mama lied to me about my daddy because I want a better life with this man if you trick him into being my daddy. Who want to live an illusion? You see what I'm saying? So, and now the man is creating an illusion for himself now, going into a situation with really a girlfriend. He ain't even married to her. And now he finds himself doing these things for her daughter, but hoping on the other end, the daughter sees him like a father. And that's his big mistake. It should be selfless, just like when you were throwing that ball with the child. It's a selfless act. You're not doing it so he sees you as a father. You're doing it because that's what he needs right now. It's to throw the ball back and forth. He needs a conversation with you right now. So you're going to give him advice and help where you can. That's what a stepfather does. So while you can cover expenses, while you can be the disciplinarian, these things are not your main role. You have to consider you're with that woman because you love her. You married her. What's your plans for her? If your plan is to have a child with her, man, get to the child making and live in that. If you're going to have your feelings hurt about how a child treating you, let that be your child. He's sitting here told about a baby that somebody else made 10 years before he came in the picture. You've been there 10 years, but how long was the father there? You can't discount that.
I totally agree.
That's what you were speaking to in that video, which was excellent. And I know you probably see in the comments, a lot of people are saying, you being too hard on him. They just did him wrong. And so they're not really seeing it the way we see it. And it's because, honestly, they're emotional. They ain't no other way. That's the only reason that they're seeing it this other way is because they're emotional. They're concerned about the stepfather's broken heart. But you're not thinking about this daughter, because this daughter, you think she's trying to plan a wedding.
It's about kid. It's about the kid living their life. It's about the kid no longer having a wedding because you don't yank the damn carpet from up under them. You know, and I'm just like, yo, that's wrong. Let me read these super chats real quick. Anonymous one, thank you for the super chat. As men, we learn how to that's the wrong one. Hold on. Here it is. A woman's nature does not alleviate her of her accountability. If her promises can't be trusted, she definitely should not be getting married. And what's that? A Chef Work says everything about discipline, choose life, not death. And let's see. I thought I had some more super chats. Somebody else dropped a super chat. We got a. Oh, hold on. Here it is. The thing is, okay. Flight Night says, if you have a problem, call me. Hold on. Something's wrong. All right. The thing isn't showing all the super chats because I just seen somebody just dropped a super chat.
While you located that first super chat spoke to women and accountability, right? And being about keeping their word. She ain't worthy of marriage. One of the reasons I teach strongly to the girls in my life that having integrity and being about your word is important, and not to be caught up in emotion is she marries this guy due to emotion. She's in love. Okay. She sees a future with this guy. Okay. Those feelings can come and go, even if he does nothing wrong. She's not wrong when that feeling goes. We all are human. The feeling of love is not the highest emotion. We think it is, but it's just an emotion like anger, indifference, whatever. So we romanticize this feeling of love. The moment she doesn't feel that, typically her loyalty goes out the window. That's not right. So you have to teach women that you have to be honest, make your decision and stick to it. Your job is to pick your husband and stick by his side, even when the love goes. I know she will not want to hear that, but we raise our daughters on this fake belief of what marriage is. You're not always going to feel love in your chest, so you got to redefine it. So love for me is an action word. As long as we're working together, as long as we're both working towards our future, let's call that love. Let's not get lost in the emotion of it all. Because as soon as you say, well, he don't make me happy no more, I don't feel this joy when I'm around him, that feeling of love is gone. And then she starts looking for that somewhere else, or she starts behaving in such a way, and you can't do that. If you really want to see a true family flourish, I don't mean plant a plant and walk away from it as a plant. I mean see your plant become a tree. To do that, it requires discipline, sacrifice. It's not going to always go your way. Every argument is not going to go your way, because the plan is to get longevity, right? So you didn't get your way a lot of times, but at least you get to be a grandparent looking back, seeing all of what you made. But if you live in today and you got to have your say so today, yeah, you probably ain't gonna have no long lasting relationship. I ain't even gonna hold you. You're gonna be very argumentative. You're gonna need to win every single argument. You understand? You're gonna ruin it because you're not thinking about your family. You're thinking about having your way. That's when you can see people become really selfish, because the child should always be what's in mind. The future should always be what's in mind. So a man without a plan is not fit for marriage, and a woman who can't be faithful to a decision that she made is not fit for marriage, man.
Totally agree. We have to, I don't know, just the way we are as Black people, we're so sexualized. Woman wants a tall man and a guy wants a woman with a big booty, right? And we're not thinking about the mental aspect of all of this. Is this woman a good mother? Is this woman cooperative? Does this woman have a father? Period. Because I can only speak for myself. I'm not taking any woman seriously if her father wasn't in her life, because I need to go to her father if she starts acting up and be like, yo, is there a reason why she's acting like this? I like to go to the manufacturer. If you got a Mercedes, you don't get mad at the Mercedes, you get mad at the manufacturer. You take the car back to the dealership. So I need a woman that has a dealership. And a mother is not the dealership. The father is the dealership. The man is the one that made her, not the woman. The mother, because if a woman is raised by her mother only, most likely she's screwed up in the head. So altogether, I need a woman that has a manufacturer and that has a dealership that I can bring her back to, just like a car, when I have some issues. And if she don't have, because imagine having a Mercedes and Mercedes go out of business. So think about that. Imagine Mercedes go out of business. Nobody would buy Mercedes no more, because you can't take the car back to the manufacturer. So I look at it the same way. If a woman doesn't have a manufacturer, which is a daddy, there's no way in hell I'm going to take her seriously, because I can't take her back to the manufacturer if I have problems out of her.
Go ahead. To build on that, before you purchase a car, you're going to do research on the car, right? So before you get serious with a woman, meet her parents. I'm talking about, especially if you know you're looking for a wife, you're looking for the next mother to your children, you're looking for a long-term relationship, somebody with character that you know going to be inspired by you, treat you with respect. The first thing you should want to do is meet her parents before you get serious. How does she treat her father? Have a conversation with her father about how he raised her. You understand what their religion is? You see what I'm saying? What those type of things are, because you don't want to be co-parenting with somebody who's an atheist and you're a believer.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm a non-believer, so I'm not about to be having my child raised by believers. And they tell me I can't challenge that. I got to just sit there and let my child be a believer. That would destroy me inside, because I'm not religious. So I wouldn't want to do that. So I know for a lot of you guys, you're very heavily religious, and you wouldn't want your child around somebody who's not religious at all, teaching this to your child. So you guys got to be thinking about this stuff. That's why I say we more so just looking for a nut. Like you said, we vetting off of what people look like, and we're not thinking about what's going to follow because of their mentality, which is the very thing we overlooking. So here we are doing this sacred act with people that we don't even know at all, right? You haven't met their parents. You don't even know who created them, right? And a lot of times, like you said, if you don't have that father in your life or that mother in your life, you likely have resentment for your father, or there's likely a lot missing because you didn't have your father. Okay, that has shown to make inadequate mothers, right? You could say the same for men who don't have these type of people in their life, that they're not usually that developed when it comes to being a parent. It's a lot of things they didn't get to learn. So yeah, you should start making your decisions based on who people have in their life. And I don't think men can overlook a woman not being attractive to them at all, even if she has great character. So, but I do think that men should not live in simply just the appearance. You see what I'm saying? Because what we'll do is we might have 4 or 5 girls that we dating, or a few women we dating, and who we give most of our time to is who's the prettiest to us. When who we should give most of our time to is who treats us the best. So let's say you do have 3 or 4 different women you're dating.
I just want to say this: who fits our life the best,
right?
Not even who treats us the best, because somebody can be treating you right because they like you, right? Just like the dude in the scenario, he's doing all these different things, but is in order to like look like he's a good dad, but he's not a good dad because how he pull his money back, right? So altogether, it's about who fits our life the best, not even who treats us better, because the person that's treating you right may be treating you right because they're in your face. And the day y'all have a child together and y'all break up, that person could be the most evil person on the planet. And you're like, yo, why is this person so different? Because you ain't in their face no more. They weren't a good person. They just treated you right.
Well, see, this is why you want to get to know those parents, because you want to make sure that she has a strong foundation who won't even allow her to do stuff like that. She's trying to weaponize the child. Man, if you can't call her mother and father and they have a problem with that, you chose the wrong woman. If they are 100% agreeing with her keeping her children's daddy away from her, you chose the wrong woman. So what I mean when I say treat is more like how she responds to you. You know, when you're talking to a woman, typically a toxic woman, she can't hide it. She can't pretend to be feminine, but as soon as a difficult conversation come up, she gonna have to have the last word. She gonna be argumentative. She gonna change the subject. She gonna do all that shit. Trust me, they can't hide it. They don't know how to pretend to that degree. I see them on TV try and pretend to be life coaches. As soon as somebody comes on there and challenges them, you can see all that toxic stuff. They do it all. Okay. Yeah. So if a woman's doing you like that, give her less dates. Don't spend time with her. If she's not responding correctly, if you take her out and she complained about where you took her, don't take her nowhere else.
Yeah.
What I teach my daughter is this: when you go out with a man, he's going out to show you what life would look like with him. Hopefully he's not a simp and he's gonna take you to somewhere he can't afford on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. Hopefully he knows his value and he takes you somewhere where y'all might eat if y'all was together. And wherever he takes you, love, enjoy the place, eat the food, be kind, be sweet, be feminine. Don't sit here and tell this man, I can't believe you took me here. Just don't go no more. If he take you to Waffle House, enjoy the pancake. Be still nice, be still kind. You agreed to go out on a date with the guy because you liked him. Now, if you didn't like that, simply don't go on a date no more. But don't be on the date criticizing and insulting the man and making him feel low. Just don't do it. It's not wise, man.
So this is specifically the reason why my card game is so prevalent, because my card game will get a person out of that lying role, because when you start dating a woman, she's going to show up with her representative. And when women date us, we show our representative.
Facts.
We're just humans. It's just who we are. But when you sit down and play somebody with my card game, it opens the other person up. And with all that being said, check out this commercial break. Came out with my Deeper Discussions card game. And the significance of this game versus any other game out there is we are not having enough deep discussions with the people we're dating, and these relationships end up lasting way longer than they need to. What if I told you that playing a simple, fun card game will help you vet the person you're dating better? We all know that it's pee in a dating pool, right? But what do you do about this? Over 80 intriguing questions that will help you vet your mate better or the person you're dating better. How did you contribute to your most recent relationship ending? Explain the relationship you had with a guardian that you resented the most. How did your last relationship affect you, positively or negatively? After playing this game, and you're not going to get done with the whole game in one sitting, you're going to have so much of a better understanding of not only the other person, but yourself. You know why? Because you now have a fun excuse to have deeper discussions. So either click the link below or click the link in my bio to buy your Deeper Discussions card game.
Hey man, that's really amazing what you're doing there. I do videos where I ask difficult questions that should be asked on dates just to try and challenge people. So I really like it. I'm gonna ask you something. So you know how people ask, "What's your body count?" Right? And we know that women are not comfortable asking that question. Say they're not comfortable because of the amount of people they slept with, or they could be just giving this guy information they're not ready for him to have yet. He may not have discretion when it comes to hearing that information. He may take it other places, and that's not something she wants to wear on her sleeve, right? But what's the question that you think is equally challenging that a woman could present to a man if she's asked that question? I have an idea, but because you've made a card game, I wonder if you've thought about this.
Well, just one of the questions is in the card game, if I asked your mother, and that's the thing, too many men and women are afraid to ask like that because they don't want to look too needy. They don't want to look too rigid. So they just don't really ask. But if you have a card game and say, hey, let's play this card game, now it makes it fun and lighthearted. So now you won't look like this rigid interrogator person. You know what I'm saying? So one of the questions is, if I ask your mother why you can't seem to get it right in regards to relationships, what do you think she would say? So that's a question where you'll start being like, damn, what will my mother say about me? Because a lot of times your mom has met your mates and then you'll be like, oh, ma, I ain't with them. You know, what would your best friend say about the reason why you're still single? You get what I'm saying?
So basically, you wouldn't ask directly, what's your body count? You ask in a more subtle way, a more acceptable way. What would you say? How would you ask that question?
Well, me in particular, I will answer the question. I'm gonna answer your question, but me in particular, I'm never gonna ask a woman what her body count is. I think that's kind of rude, because how many men she slept with, I'm gonna be able to tell. Because she gonna lie. I don't want her to lie to me. But with me, and I don't know if anybody else can do this, I can look at a woman's body. I mean, I can tell how many men a woman has slept with just all together, not in like specifically. But I could tell if a woman has a high body count or a low body count, one, by her eye movements, two, by her body language, three, by her different tonalities. And I can see a lot of different things. So like, for example, I can bring up a scenario where I can say, do you think it's easier being single and having sex, or being in a relationship having sex? Because we are having sex, right? So I was talking to a woman one time and I was like, yeah, being single is like super annoying, because I can have a friends with benefits situation with a woman, and it always turns into, well, why we still doing this? Like, are we ever going, and it turns into something that's annoying, right? And I'm like, so just having different women that I'm sleeping with on a normal basis is super annoying. And the first thing she said is, why? I said, why? Because they always want more. And she turned around and said, Well, why do they want more? They understand exactly what it is. So if she knows what it is, she's just gonna, I'm like, oh, okay. That means you are okay with that. Think about that.
Right.
That if you have that mindset, because a woman knows how women are. So if you start being like, well, I wouldn't do that. If I just start sleeping with a man and he said it's no strings attached, that's exactly what it's going to be. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's what I want to do with you. You're instantly that woman. Because if you have that mindset of I'm totally okay with just smashing and it never being anything, why would I look at you as somebody that I want to be with? Because you probably letting somebody smash while we dating now. Because you're so okay with it. I want to be like that dude.
Also, that tells you that she has the ability to sleep with somebody and not get emotionally involved.
Right.
You
That means she's used to doing it. Right. Which means she has a high body count.
Sure. So that can tell you a lot about a person just listening to the red flags that they give. I've asked women before things like, have you ever had a one-night stand? Things like that. They might say, yeah, but I didn't like him, or when I do like him, I make him wait. And that tells me a lot about how they think as well. Things like that, right? But I guess I'm asking because let's just say a man is saying, I'm looking for longevity. It's a lot of like logic out here now being given that I wasn't prone to 5 years ago. Like say on YouTube, I'm hearing about pair bonding. You know, I'm hearing about people being less likely able to commit if they've had multiple partners. This is for a man too. If you're a man and you can just change women out like underwear, it's very difficult for you to stick to one woman. You understand? I encourage people like grow a plant because you'll forget to water it, and when it wilts, you just go buy another plant, and you won't heal it back by doing the steps it needs to take to bring that plant back. And that's what we do in relationships. We don't fix problems. We just discard people and start a new one. We say, hey, if you won't do it, somebody else will. And that doesn't build development on how to maintain long-lasting relationships. I really think that men should be commended on how long they can make a relationship last versus how many women they can sleep with. You see what I'm saying? Because this leads to healthier families and long-term families and stuff, you know. But let's just say, just tell me what you think it is. If I ask a woman what her body count is, I agree with you. She will lie. And the sad part is you have no real way of determining that actual amount. So you just kind of got to take a word on it. But what another question I feel like would be that could be comparable to a man that he can't lie about actually, because we have to prove it. And that's what is his credit score. And I think a lot of men hear that and be like, wait a second, I don't want you asking me that because we have something on the surface that seems to make us look like we're okay. But then but that credit score shows your real discipline. And why would that be important to a woman? Because she's looking for somebody who can be resourceful and protect, and not just protect physically, but protect that income. You don't want somebody who gambling and got to have every new pair of the next Jordans. You know what I'm saying? And he's not focusing on furthering the family's income and things of that nature, right? So I can see these as being really good questions, but I can also see how a man would say, I don't like you asking my credit score, you know? So I try to even the playing field where women have to go to these dates or whatever, and they have to worry about these questions being asked that make them feel like they're lower valued. But if you can ask questions too, can you now be honest? Because that man can't lie to you about his credit score. And that does tell you a lot. It says a lot, let's be honest. But your body count and the amount of men you've laid up under, it tells me a lot too. And I just want to know how many relationships have you been in, like long-term relationships. And I also want to know how many sexual partners that you had. But more than that, I want to know how they came about. Hopefully you don't have one-night stands. Hopefully you're not sleeping with men for money. And if you ever had a train ran on you or you accepted money for sex, I can't deal with you at all. Like, I won't judge you. You're your own person. I might do business with you socially. I ain't going to ostracize you. But for dating, hell nah. I can't date somebody who let two men smash. That's not something I could do. And maybe it is an ego thing, but just no, not at all. So that's my child's mother. That'll be my children's mother. And I'm thinking of my future self, right? Do I want my future self to have a mother that had trains ran on her? Do I want my future self to have a mother that accepted cash for sex? Like, I don't want my future self to have a mother like that. I want my future self to have a good mother, a mother who kept herself, a mother I can introduce to my mama. And I know women don't really like that they feel judged, but they got to understand, we ain't judging you. We're thinking about our child's mother.
We're judging you are not you are our decision. So I need to judge my decision. You are my decision. You feel me? So it's not about you. You are my potential decision.
Like you're bringing somebody into your whole world. Like that's like you forging a business, right? and then you just met me, and you're gonna bring me and give me 50% of your business, and you don't know me. That's ridiculous, man. That person can change your whole life. And with the power that the government gives women when it comes to divorce and alimony and child support and things of that nature, you do not want to mix with any woman that you don't fully know, that you don't fully feel comfortable with. Now, I mean, not just her family. You can meet her and never even get to know her family. So get to know her family, man, because you can tell a lot about her family. If you let's just say you're dating a girl at home, family don't trust her. Trust me, bro. That's a sign. You're gonna know if she snuck out the house as a little girl. Ask the daddy, was she rebellious? Did you have to deal with that type stuff? Look in his mouth, look in his eyes, see if he stutter. Do not marry a woman who rebelled against her own daddy. I'm telling you now. She snuck out just to go to parties when her daddy said no. She gonna wear that shit anyway, even though you told her not to. Trust me, she is.
Yeah, because I got two daughters, and I'm proud to say that my daughters listened. They didn't rebel. They didn't listen to everything, but they did not rebel. You know what I'm saying? They just was a little hard-headed every now and then. But all together, all of that, your family, your childhood trauma, your family dynamic, who raised you and how you were raised, literally dictates your entire life. Going to the Dania Jackson situation. Dania Jackson said that her dad prioritized her younger male siblings, right? He didn't spend a lot. He didn't spend any time with her, but he spent so much time with her younger male siblings, and he was even their football coach. Imagine your dad being your football coach, right? But you the girl, and you over here, you don't even see your dad, and your dad is in your brother's faces every day because he's a football coach, right? She literally wanted to play football as a girl so she can get that attention. She literally wanted to be a boy in order to get the love from her dad. She grows up, gets with Derek Jackson. He starts cheating on her with IG models, and she now wants to be the IG model. She literally said, I studied the women that Derek Jackson was dating so I can walk and talk and act and think like them and have sex like them. So this is a family dynamic thing. She knew how to do this because she learned how to be a tomboy when she was little. So everything that we are doing now, we did in some type of way as a child.
It's true. We're more susceptible to doing that. Her brain is already wired to seek validation. So like that definitely happens as a child, man. That's why you see a lot of adults now seeking validation in their peers because they did not get it in their parents. But think about this though. I don't know how old she is. She looks like she's about my age. I'm 40.
She's 33.
Okay, so I know a lot of men, they be thinking like you raise sons different than daughters. And a lot of them would think that they don't have what it takes to raise a daughter. My daddy was like that. He'd be like, I can't raise no girl. So if he did spend more time, unfortunately, with his boys than he did his girl. And that's typically where he's comfortable too, throwing the football, doing more physical things. And a lot of men feel like they don't even know how to be a girl. They feel too soft. See me, I sat down and played Tea Party with my daughter. That's how I earned trust. I don't have any like a feeling of like insecurity when it comes to how I am with my children. You understand? But a lot of men do. And you can see that built something in her. So what did she do? Relive that with Derek Jackson. And so now she's seeking the validation of Derek Jackson through trying to look like who he's giving most of his attention to, just like her father was giving most of the attention to the sons. And that's scary. That's why you have to ask these questions. Yo, what's your relationship like with your father? Well, he was never there for me. Listen, if you date a woman like that, even though you're trying to be there for her, if you ever miss it, she will kind of metabolize it the same way. You're neglecting her when you fail to give her attention. So you can be in your own world. You could be concerned about life. Like, for instance, I got a couple, right? I counsel. They're this way. He says he's sitting in a restaurant and he knows that bills are tight, right? So he's thinking of different ways he can make money and keep the family afloat, right? Some things, he had a car mess up, so he got to pay for that. Now, the woman, she doesn't pay any bills, right? So he took her out to eat, and while they're out to eat, all she can think about is where they're going to go to next and all these types of things. In his mind, he's kind of like out of it because he's thinking about how he's going to make this extra money, right? She doesn't know that because if he tells her that, she'll be worried, right? So he don't want to worry. He don't want to stress. He'll handle the stress. Yeah. But now she's upset because he don't seem like he's really interested in what they're doing next. You see? And she doesn't understand that the man, he's carrying a different burden than her. Because he's dealing with the task of protection and provision, his mind, unfortunately, may not be where y'all are right now. Where she has a blessing. She gets to only think about eating this dinner and going somewhere next. She ain't got to worry about the roof over the head or nothing. Yeah. So now this man, he got to worry about the roof over the head and provisions and how he gonna make this work. But now he also got to apologize for being out of sight, out of mind a little bit. And she will weaponize that and say, you didn't pay attention to me and you didn't do, and it's like, yo, you being, and that's why we say women are like children, because they don't understand that, yo, you have some stuff that you have to be there's a burden to you that she don't have. And she don't have any understanding for that. It's almost like she's a child. Tell your child you don't have McDonald's money. Watch him act out. Now tell him in the nicest way, listen, I can go make some burgers myself, but mama and daddy don't have money for McDonald's right now, baby. It's not in the budget. They still gonna cry.
They still gonna cry, just like a woman.
That's why you can never give your child the steering wheel. If you give them the steering wheel, you're gonna be off on the side of the road somewhere because they care about what they want. And you, frankly, as a man, you can't give that to your wife because she cares about what she wants.
Because she's a child.
Yeah, you're caring about the family and inheritance and all this stuff. So this is why I say, look, if a man really do the right thing and focus on his plan and don't spend if it's not out of budget, he'll have an angry wife because everything she wants ain't gonna be in budget. When holidays come up, birthdays, anniversaries, if it's not in budget and that man says, we sticking with the plan over tradition, over birthdays, anything, we sticking with making sure this house has what it needs, your children and your wife would be upset with you. So believe me, that's why I say a wife or a child can't use you, but they'll give you but they'll take anything from you if you give it to them. So as a man, you got to have a budget. So you can't, as a man, say, I don't tell my wife, no, she can have whatever she wants. Man, are you crazy? You got to have a budget. You can't do that for your child. You're going to ruin them. You got to have a budget.
Because the thing about it is, you're not supposed to give a woman everything she wants, just like you're not supposed to give a child everything that they want. You know what I mean? So Eric Weston, thank you for the super chat. He says, knowledge. Shout out to JD Caudle. He says, y'all better hit the like button. This is all facts. I'm a witness. Thank you so much. Woos Dragon, shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. So all together, I like to share resources that will help our community become better, right? But the only thing that I can do is lead the horse to the water. I can't make the horse drink. And I have different resources. I have a course, I have a coaching group, I have different things. I have a lot, but the number one thing that is the easiest thing to consume and digest is my card game, because it's fun and you can play it with anybody. See, when you take a course, it's just you taking the course, right? My coaching group, you go and take the coaching group. That's cool. You could do that. But all together, the card game is something that you can play with your mama. You can play it with your brothers. You can play with your siblings. You can play with your coworkers. You can play it with your man. You can play it with your woman. You can play it with your kids. I actually played the card game over dinner 3 days ago with my oldest daughter, right? And me and her, we don't got into it to the point where she will block my number, right? And one of the questions in my card game was, if we got into an argument, I'm playing this with my daughter. If we got into an argument, and I got the card this time. If we got into an argument and after the argument, I block you, how would you feel? Do you know my daughter said she would be mad? And I'm like, you don't block me before. How are you gonna get mad if I blocked you? She's like, cause you my daddy, you can't block me. And I was like, what would you do? She was like, I call mommy and tell her to call daddy. Like, why is he blocking me? I was like, yo, it was hilarious. Cause I'm like, you don't block me before. But she's like, well, that's different. I'm your daughter. I can do that. So playing my card game, it's so fun. You can play with your own kids, man.
Now,
It's hilarious.
this is telltale that our wives and our children expect us to be leaders. They expect us to be more disciplined and to not do the very things that they're willing to do. Because in all actuality, she shouldn't block you either, but she can feel the pain from if you were to block her. And daddy shouldn't block me. He should make better decisions than me, and he shouldn't stoop to my level.
That's women or children, right?
Right, because we're the children. But still, that shows you that, hey, you still got to have boundaries, you know. So because you understand that now as my daughter, can you not block me? Because you know how it feels to a man to not be able to reach out to his daughter. Like, we don't want y'all mad at us either. Like, we actually value the relationships with our children. They give us life as much as we give them life. Like when I was a child, my daddy meant the world to me. I didn't have my mother. She died when I was 3. But my father, he meant the world to me, right? But when I became an adult and had children of my own, they meant the world to me, and carrying them on my shoulders made me feel just as strong as being on my daddy's shoulders. You see what I'm saying? So I can tell you straight up, I need my children, but I don't need the world for their validation. I get it through my children and who they are and the things they tell me. You see what I'm saying? So my children mean the world to me. It would break my heart if they blocked me because of an uncomfortable situation or conversation. So I can definitely understand what you may have felt, that you can't reach out to her right now because she's upset. So I think that's good that y'all can have that conversation and both of y'all can see how each other feels, and she can say, you know what, based on how that would make me feel, I'm sorry, and I ain't gonna block you no more. I'll try to handle that better the next time and not get so caught up in my emotions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Imagine playing this card game with your kids, and a card comes out and says, which parent was the most emotionally unavailable? And they said you. That's how important this card game is. You could play it with your kids. They could be like 12 years old. They can read, and they say, which one of my parents was more emotionally unavailable? And then they turn around and say, you, daddy. You instantly have to become a better daddy, because now you're like, oh, damn, I didn't know that. So you're instantly a better father now. And somebody in Queens and Diamond said, how do you get the card game? The link is in the chat. I'm sure you can see the chat on his side. You may not be able to see it. I'm not sure. But the link is in the chat. And if it's not in his chat, do you see my link in your chat? I'm not sure. I don't know how that works, because all of this is new.
I don't see it in on the screen with you right now, but I have a second phone and I can see the chat on my phone.
So you can see it?
Yeah, on my phone I can.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not really paying attention to it as I'm focused on the camera with you on it, because that's in pastime or whatever. So
Right. Okay, so your people is saying they don't see it in the chat. So
so what's the it's a link, isn't it?
Yeah, the link is, well, it's going. Don't worry about it. So to the people, so they're saying no. Actually, hold on. I'll do this real quick.
And I can definitely go back and post that link later for you as well.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna text you the link.
Okay.
Hold on, right here. Boom. All right, so I just text you the link, and you can just copy and paste and then pin it in your own chat.
All right, I'm on that current phone, but I'm going to do it real quick. Okay, 1 second.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So yeah, to the audience wondering about my card game, you can literally, as a mother or a father, play this game with your own kids. Playing this game with your own kids will literally blow your mind. And next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute. I'm not as emotionally unavailable as I thought I was. One of my daughters said I was more emotionally available, and my other daughter says I wasn't as emotionally available. So I'm like, wait, my 2 kids that was raised in the same house experienced me differently? Whoa, My own card game, open that up with my own kids.
Right.
My two kids that grew up in the same household experienced me totally differently. I'm like, what?
It's in the link, guys. It's in the chat, guys.
So yeah,
wow, that's deep right there. I love that idea, that card game, man. That's amazing. I don't know how much time we have, but can I give
go ahead
this template to stepfathers? Like,
yes,
cool.
Cool.
So, guys, I'm gonna read this to you guys, and let me kind of get this out, and then this is for all stepfathers, okay, or people who may potentially end up in a relationship where the woman already has a child. I really want you guys to go into it the right way instead of ending up like this guy here, okay? So,
right.
So first I'm going to give you guys a list of 5 roles that is it is a requisite for a stepfather. And then I'm going to tell you what is not your roles. I'm going to give you 5 things that's not your roles. So here is what your roles are as a stepfather, okay? So your role is to build a relationship with the child. Now, I didn't say buy things. I said build a relationship. So this is how you actually earn a child's love, family. They don't just give it to you because you give them stuff. I swear to God, they don't. So you can take my word for it or not, but I'm telling you the best way to go into this is to build a relationship with this person. Get to know this little person. Don't expect to come in there and them to just listen to you because you're a new step parent. Build a relationship. It's through that relationship that they'll know they can trust you, that they know they can invest in you with their secrets and time. That's how they'll get to know you, family. All right, so just like you would build a relationship with a friend, you wouldn't make somebody do something because y'all just met, right? You can't do that with a child either. All right, so number 2, your role is to take part in all roles. Okay, so wherever the father cannot be there. Wherever the mother cannot be there. Simple, right? Number 3, your role is to understand your authority. So understand what the child needs. Get with the parents of that child. Hopefully the child has both parents in their life. If you're one of those fathers who say, I won't actually be be with a woman if she still knows the father, then you shouldn't do it, period.
You shouldn't do it at all.
You would be a demon. Right. You're a demon at this point. You come to steal, kill, and destroy because the child wants their father in their life and you don't want them in their life. So you understand you want something different for the child. And if you had it your way, the child would be miserable. Stay out of their life, man. Move on, start your own family, bro. All right. So understanding your authority through getting with the mother, finding out what the child needs. Where are they in school? Where are they with their discipline? And then try to help where you can. But don't just come in saying it's a new sheriff in town. Your kid gonna listen to what I say or else. Even if they move into your house, if you feel like they have to, just because they're a new child, you might not want to do it. I'm telling you. So you might not want to do it. I would be willing to discipline my stepchild, but only with the approval of the mother and that father, and be where I'm supposed to be, right? So in other words, if the child is a hellion, and I know that the parents are not parenting him, I wouldn't even do it. So for all of you saying who say, what if the child really bad? Don't do it. What are you talking about? If it's a girl and she's really bad and rebellious, dude, she might put a claim on your ass that can have you locked up or ruined for years to come. All right. If it's a boy and he put his hands on you, man, you know you're not about to let him. So let's just be real. Number 4 is your role is to set appropriate boundaries. All right. So if they're in your house and they punching holes in the wall, you gotta say something. If they're breaking TVs, you gotta say something. If they're talking back to their mother, you might want to fall back. Get with the mother about that. Like you heard what he said to you, right? How do you feel about him saying that to you? Well, here's what you need to say back to him next time he says that. Kind of parent through her, right? Yeah. All right. But then so number 5 is your role is to set a positive example. As a stepfather, your role is to set a great example. You're not going to be able to tell the kid what to do like you would your own child. So set an amazing example. If they got to lead by example, right? At least you're setting one, right? Now, here's what your roles are not. Okay. Now, please know that you can do these roles if the mother permits or the child really needs that and they're okay with that. But understand, this does not give you authority over the child, even if you do this stuff. Okay. So your role is to not replace anyone. So you as a step parent shouldn't come in saying, I'm going to be their new daddy. I'm going to be better than their daddy. I'm going to be in competition with their daddy. Where he fails, I'm going to try to succeed and hope that they love me more than their daddy. Yo, you wrong as hell if you're doing that, and get on. Like, if they have a bad relationship with their parent, try and make it better. That's how you be beneficial to that family, yo. Okay. So now you ain't got to replace nobody. So don't be upset when the child loves their parent. more than you, okay? Or as a father. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Number two, your role is not the disciplinarian. Now, earlier I said, okay, take part in discipline, of course, but your role isn't to do that. They're not your legacy. That is that woman and that man's legacy. So you know you're dating her, you're married to her. Emotionally, don't get so connected that you start treating this child as if they are your legacy, okay? That mother's the disciplinarian. You are kind of like the side to that, even as a man. So as like Mr. Let Go said, I'm a man, I like to run my house. I say, start your own family. That's the best way to truly be able to run your own house, man. All right. And because you know they can turn those children against you, right? And now they're even using those children against you in an assault case, right? Like, and you know you didn't hit her. All right. So all right. So your role is to not, this is number 3 on knots. Your role is to not, is not to provide for the children. Now, I didn't say you can't do things for the children or that you can't provide for the children. I'm saying that's not your role. You don't come into a woman's life with the role of providing for her child. You know whose role that is? Hers and that man she made that baby with. It ain't nothing gonna change that. You know what kills me? Seeing a woman go get a new man and still take all of the help from the baby's daddy, which she should, but then still require a new man to fulfill this position. So she'll come move in with him, even though she's getting money from the father that she's been getting money from. She still says, you take care of my child. So whatever he get for his child, he got to get for hers too. Now that's his stepchild, no doubt about it. But if he buys his child a car, he don't got to buy that child a car. Now, as a mother now, and you go and you get a new stepdaddy, you got to understand that. And you can't be sitting here trying to make this man be a daddy to your kid. That's your kid. Right. And that's what women be going wrong. They'll try to make a man. And that's why they be getting that invested. You can guarantee that this mother, I bet you the mother made this man do this stuff. Talk to men to do it.
He has to be the man. Can't nobody make me do nothing. And I understand what you're saying.
Shaming and using this, using different tactics to try and get you to do this. Like you took your child, you should take mine. So if I have stepkids, I'm gonna love them. I am. I'm gonna be there for them as much as I can. But if I have real children with that woman, and I got enough money to put my kid through school, I'm putting my kid in the best schools. Because that's my legacy.
Wait. If they in the same household?
Listen, this is why I would never be a stepfather. If I married a woman and she has a child of her own, okay, that child and her is responsible for that child's education. Now let's say I am going to take the money to put my child in a certain school because I want them to, they're my legacy. I want them to run my business when I die, and they might need a certain amount of training for that. I'm going to invest wholeheartedly in my child, in my seed. So I want to make sure my woman only got a seed with me so this don't happen. Because if this happens, they might be mad at me. I'm going to pay for my child's school. And if she says, will you pay for my child's school? I'll put something on it maybe. But if I can't afford to go, mine's still going. Right,
as long as you put something on it.
I would help. Because I'm a stepdaddy. I'll be there where I can.
I get it. Because the
budget of my own. So if
I just want to say this.
I
just want to say this. We have to make sure that we remember that even a child is a stepchild, right? They don't want to feel like the stepchild.
They don't.
Because they didn't ask to be here and they didn't ask to be a stepchild. They mama is the one that's screwing up their life, right? So if they mama is working to fix everything that she screwed up and she gets with you, and you have a son and she has a son, right? And you got your son in basketball and football and doing all this other stuff, right? Your job is to make sure that her son, that you married a mama, right? So you chose to be in that boy's life. You got to make sure that they play football and basketball also, or whatever it is. Now, you can give more to your actual son, but at the same time, that kid is in the house with you and your son biologically isn't, right? So you still got to make sure that you're a father figure to that son that's in your house.
I'm saying we have a child. If she has a stepchild, if I have a stepchild with her and I have a child together, so therefore my child is in the home because it's her. We have a child together and then we have a stepchild. If I'm in a situation like that, right? So if I'm
you're going to treat both of them differently and they both in the same house?
Well, I would treat them the same based on how I interact with them would be the same. However, The fact is that, and we don't want our children to experience being treated differently. But
Right.
this is why I encourage parents to try and stay together. Because
Well,
when you don't,
most women are single mothers, so let's look at it from reality. Most women are single mothers, right? So that is not reality. Most women are single mothers. So
right,
what?
If the father, now this, in this scenario, this is if she has the father still in her life. So I would get with them. If I'm putting my child in some school, I'm going to get with them and say, can y'all afford this? Because I'm going to put my child in this school. And I don't want your child to not be able to go as well. Right. And if they cannot afford that, and I can't afford both of them, I am still going to elect to send my child to this special school. Now, here's the reason. I do know that that child may feel indifferent to stepchild, but that is the reality of it. You understand? Like when you are a mother and you don't stay with your baby's daddy and you go get a new man, you're going to want that man to love your child the same. But I'm telling you, that's not reality. It's not. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're telling your child life is supposed to be a fantasy. Listen, when I grew up in a multifaceted home where kids had different daddies and stuff, right? So let's say my daddy ain't there like I want him to be, but my cousin's daddy is. We all live with my grandmother, right? Okay, so my sister, we have different daddies, so her daddy always there for her, right? So of course I felt some kind of way. But that's the should her daddy do any less for her because I see it? What my grandmother did was just just explained it to me. She gave me reality. She said, that's her daddy. And your daddy ain't performing like that. We can't live through that. So I had to grow up early because she told me. I think kids can accept more than we believe they can. Because instead of my grandmother going to my sister's daddy and saying, you got to bring Kevin something when you come by here because he's feeling some kind of way, she instead told me, get over that. That is her daddy. That's not your father.
No,
and
man. I disagree with that. No.
Listen, I had cousins who grew up in the same house with me. Now, all of my grandmother's children gave, except for one, gave the children to my grandmother. So my grandmother raised all of us. So we have different parents and stuff inside the home. So the mothers, they might bring, now my grandmother is my daddy's mama, and her other children are women. So she has two other girls who got their children living with us too. Now they still alive, they still around, but they're living with grandma, right? So they came through more than my daddy did. And when they would come, they would bring different things, food. I'm talking about McDonald's for their kids. So my cousin got McDonald's from his mama. I can ask my cousin if I can have a chicken nugget or something, but she don't have to bring that to me. I am not his.
Yes, she does. It's kids in that house, bro. That's wrong.
But that's
children ain't asked to be in these situations. You can't turn around.
They didn't ask. They didn't ask. But
hold on, you can't inadvertently ostracize a child, and this child is hungry, and this child has some food.
Well, now let's say we took that. Okay, let's say we listen to what you're saying and said, okay, you can't do that. That is saying that the adults of their own children have to now be responsible for children that's not theirs just because they want to bring something to their child.
But they in the house.
But you got to think about this now. My aunts already barely had money and was living off food stamps and WIC anyway. So do they have any extra money to bring these other kids that stand there? They probably don't have it. So to them, they're coming by there to see their children. They're bringing whatever my grandmother requires monthly for her to keep those children.
Think about this. I don't look at women and men in the same way. Okay. So women usually don't have no money. They gonna do what they do. I'm talking about men. If I have, say, a baby mama, right? And then she has another child that's not mine, I'm going to bring both children some food. I'm not just going to bring my child some food. Now, if I don't want to do that, or if I can't afford to do that, I'm going to tell my baby mama to, hey, tell him to come outside or tell her to come outside, and we're going to go do something, and we're going to go get some food. I'm not going to bring my child some food and let my child eat in front of their brother or their sister. That's wrong. You don't have to treat them equally. I agree with letting them. You got to do it to the best of your ability. To the school thing, that's a lot of money, so I can understand that. But when it comes to normal everyday playing sports, food,
Yeah, you're
or
gonna
stuff
do
like
that. That's why I say
taking
the
to park,
basics.
that's
Right.
different.
As a step now, I would now when it comes to my aunts and stuff like that, I would still disagree. But as a stepfather, I do agree that you are by
As a
marrying
man.
her, right? By marrying her as the man
Yeah.
saying I'm responsible for resources. You are saying I will
Yeah.
at least give your child the basics, a roof over their head and food. Anytime mine eat, yours will eat. That's perfectly understood. But when it comes to big decisions like putting your child through a school, if you can't afford that, I probably would still put my child through that school. It would be unfortunate that I couldn't send their child, but that's something that their child would have to understand because they do have two different fathers. And listen, there's going to be so many things I don't get out of this too, because you know stepfather's a thankless job. So that child would be asking me to.
We don't need nothing.
No, but here's what I'm saying.
We sleep with hold on. We sleep with a mama.
Of course, but you said something I want to speak to. You said the child doesn't want to be treated differently by that stepfather, even if he has a real child with that mother. They don't want to be. Yeah. But that stepfather knows he's treated differently, and that stepchild knows they don't see that person like a father. So at some point, you have to say, okay, you know what? Well, see this, look, as a child, because children might care about these things does not mean it's right. They are underdeveloped. So
they're
if a child
children.
says,
they don't know,
right, they're children, right? They have a right to be underdeveloped, but it doesn't mean they're not. So let's say your underdeveloped child is emotional because the stepfather, his stepfather treats his child a little differently. Say sending them to some type of school or something like that, right? You have to talk with your child. I get that this makes you feel a certain way, but understand this is his actual child. It's not that he doesn't love you. So the child may feel some kind of way by it, but it don't mean always give them their way because their feelings are hurt. Real life is happening. And so we have to prepare our children for real life. As a mother, make the relationship work with that man you with, or this is likely to happen. See, this is what I'm saying. When we come in as men saying, I'm going to make sure I treat this child exactly like mine, then we actually helping to make her not accountable for leaving the real baby's daddy. So we are working just as hard as the government, if you ask me. The government gonna give her food stamps, WIC, and make her life easier when that man is not in her life, so she don't feel the effects of it. So
The government ain't smashing her. It's
no,
a little
not.
bit different.
But listen, if she has a child, so if you're smashing her, then you are with her and your child that comes through her. She needs to know that if she has a child with a man, it's up to her and that man that she had a child with to take care of that child from here and now into forever.
Kevin. You are with her and the child if she has a child. You're not just with her unless you just smashing. If we talk about marriages or relationships. We're not just talking about you meet this chick who got a little kid, you just smashing her. You're with her and the child, not just with her. You're with both of them. You're in a relationship that is different with her and the child.
Unless your role to the child is not that of a father, right? We agreed on that.
Huh?
His role to the child is not father, it's stepfather, correct?
Yes.
Right. So even though he's married to the mother, his role as stepfather is still not to provide for the child. That's not his role. He's a stepfather.
In unison with the actual father. Unison, it is a parallel. It is not the same, but it's still a parallel.
So watch this. Let's say you're in a situation where you have a child with this woman and you have a stepchild with this woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now your stepchild still has their father in their life, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you buy things for your child, you have to buy them for her child, right? Because of course you're the husband.
Yes.
When he brings something to his child, does he have to bring it for yours?
Yes.
Okay. If y'all work it like that.
Yes.
But, if y'all work it like that, but if I am not with a woman.
But do you hold on? Do you see what I'm saying though?
No, I hear that's your criteria. I wouldn't tell you that you're wrong. I wouldn't tell you you're wrong,
he has to bring something for my kid the same way I got to bring something for his kid because we are a bigger community.
That's perfectly fine.
I'm not going to ostracize his child, and he's not going to ostracize my child. We are a bigger family.
Right. If y'all have that agreement, right?
Yeah.
So now here's where you said being used is not about intent. Okay. It's not really about intent. Somebody can use you and not be intending to use you, right? You said when you feel used is when you would withdraw. So in other words, when there's a disadvantage, so you and the baby's daddy, I mean, you and your stepchild's father, y'all have this agreement where y'all do stuff for the other child every time, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now you're going to put your child through school. You would like to be able to put his child through school, but that's not something you can afford.
That's bigger. We talking about food. We talking about little small stuff. That's bigger.
Okay, because I was going to say that's where you would present a disadvantage. Okay?
Yes, because school, buying somebody a car, that's different. We talking about small basic needs.
Okay.
Taking a kid somewhere, spending time with a kid.
What about a PlayStation?
Playing PlayStation with a kid, buying them food, stuff like that. I'm only talking about basic needs because you can't be expected to pay for both people's college, buy both of them a car. That's different.
Then we agree. We agree. So so basic needs. You as a stepfather is taking care of basic needs because you're the provider of the family. Right.
Like they're my kids.
Everybody within the family, because you are the provider of the family, but you're not the provider of the child. The real father is the child's responsibility. Let's be honest. Okay. So you're assuming some of the responsibility for the family as a whole, but that stepfather is still present. Therefore, that real child's father. And so you're there as a stepfather to that child, even though you're there as a real father to your child. Right.
Because just like I said, in my situation, I was with a woman that had 2 kids. And I raised those 2 kids in congruency with the actual father. I played a specific active role and I protected those kids because the daughter was running around. She's like, I think she was like 7 and he was 9. So we all outside, we throwing the football, but I'm still, hey, don't go off the torch. Hey, what you doing? I'm still paying attention to the girl. I'm protecting the girl while we out here playing football. So she is my priority. He is my priority. Sure. Now I got my own kids, of course, and my kids are a different priority, But since I'm with the woman, I see the kids more often than I see my kids. Sure. That's just how life is.
How it goes.
You don't see your kids as much as you see another person's kids when you with that other person. That is life.
And
but my kids
consider their experiences. You can't do anything about your children.
My thing is, I did not prioritize my kids over these kids because by default, it's actually the opposite because I'm around the mama more than I'm around my own kids. So all what I'm saying is I played my role. Even though the dad was there, I played a different role, but I did not tell them, they ain't none of my kids. No, I was still there.
Well, if you've done one of those larger transactional things, that may have had to come into play. You see, so if it's just the basics, that wouldn't matter. So the basics,
I'm not buying them kids a car, but I'm buying my kids a car because it's bigger.
Right, it's bigger. So we agree then. So relationship-wise, you would be there with the kids. You'd throw the football with their son as much as you would yours. All those types of things you would do. But this is what I'm trying to explain to men and mothers, or mothers and fathers out here. If you do separate and begin to co-parent, or if you're a man looking to have children of your own, if you're a man and you're looking to have children of your own, if you choose a woman that already has a child, this is not a no, but you want to make sure that she's definitely worthy of being your wife. Okay, she already can't make you her sole focus because she has a child. So she got to have great character. She got to bring a lot to the table. You got to understand this because here's what you got to think about: the life of your future child with her. You're going to want to pour into that child, and you know that you are agreeing to taking care of the basics for that other child. Now, if you add that up, the basics over years and years, they can come up to a lot. And that does take away from your real child. Whether you want to agree with that or not, it does. So it's better to start your own family. So all you have to worry about is yours. But if you do choose this, know that that's part of it. You can't go into it like Mr. Let Go was saying. You can't go into it and say, I buy mine something, but not yours. So I've seen it, man. I've seen it go on. But I do understand it when it comes to larger transactions and even a will, leaving an inheritance. I will leave my children my business, my land, my houses, and I will not leave it to stepchildren. If I did leave stepchildren something, it would be cash. But I would leave my child legacy and assets, man. And so that, as a mother, if you do marry a man, imagine this: that man's going to leave an inheritance to his children and not the one you have with that other man.
I agree.
Make it work with that other man. It's just better.
I agree. I agree. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was understood. And I know some of the people in the chat, y'all ain't even got no kids. So yeah, start your family with somebody that doesn't have any kids. But to the men and women that have kids, the reality is you're going to integrate your life with somebody else's kids, whether you're a woman or a man. The man gonna have a kid or the woman gonna have a kid, and you don't turn around and make that child feel like they're less than, because like I said, they did not ask to be here. They did not ask for their daddy to leave. You got to look at that whole situation and say, am I emotionally, physically, we're playing with a kid, playing PlayStation, physically and financially able to raise my kid and this woman's kid, or my kid and this man's kid, because that child did not ask to be here.
You're absolutely right. And one of the things, Mr. Let Go, that I try and point out for people is, so because I'm poly, people talk a lot of junk about that, right? They say I'm being greedy, I'm a manipulator, my women are dumb, whatever they can say to discredit or invalidate it, right? Goes against their religion and whatnot. Okay, cool. But what I'm trying to get them to understand is, while we live in a Western world that doesn't approve of polygamy, we are very polygamous. And that's why we have created the world we live in. We go around sleeping with multiple people, and that's what polygamy is. And because we're not accountable to our true nature, when you're single, that's your true nature. You're sleeping with multiple partners. What we try and do is hold to a social standard and say, let's choose committing to each other and only being with each other. But this is something that's social standard. It's not natural. So what happens is we sleeping with all these multiple people and having children out of wedlock, and even breaking up after we have children together. If you were truly monogamous, you stay together whether you got along or not, because you would not want to be with somebody else. So I am poly, and so I'm poly because I know relationships work better that way, family works better that way. So in a poly situation, you as a father is wrong for coming into another life where there's a stepchild, because and you don't give them what they need, and you start saying they're not your real child, so you don't have to. The reason that's wrong is the child already missed out on the best situation they could have, which is their mother and father in the home. So they already had to watch their parents split up, or they already did not get a full family, okay? Which is their mother and father and grandparents on both sides, and aunts and uncles. Like, you're really supposed to have all of that, right? We don't think about that. We really just looking to see they have a creator, not even the creators of the creator, right? So when you're not poly, the child is at a disadvantage, because now they got this adult figure in their life that don't love them the same. But if that person was poly and accepting of that, you could be a father figure to both of those children, whether they're your child or not. And the mother's supposed to do the same thing. But how many times you see this, man? People have children together, they co-parent until the other person gets somebody else. And now that's when all hell breaks through. They never wanted you to move on. And now they weaponize the child, don't let you come to the birthday parties, or they plan a whole party, don't even tell you where it is. Like, they don't they do this every time, every Christmas, if the things are at their place, or you never really get to be with your child like you should be. They weaponize the child. Listen, man, it's so dangerous, because we were being poly when we created this shit. When we created these situations, excuse me, right? But now that we have these children and they're here, now we want to act like we monogamous. But you're not. If you were monogamous, you wouldn't have been with multiple people. You wouldn't have children out of wedlock. You wouldn't have left your wife. Dude, you're poly because you got somebody else. That's what makes you poly. You may not be with these people at the same time, but you have to work with them, and they will forever be in your life because you had kids with them. Hence, you're poly. People think you got to have sex to be poly. It's poly when you have mixed families already.
That makes a lot of sense. So, question about the poly lifestyle. What is the biggest misconception about it? Because I'm halfway interested in it. I don't know enough about it or whatever. But would you like to talk about what the misconceptions is? Because I would love to have two women, because I coach women. I have the bandwidth to deal with multiple emotions. I raise two daughters, and of course, my ex-wife was in the house. So I lived in a house with three women, young women, and all this other stuff. So I have the capacity to deal with two women getting on my damn nerves all at the same time. So what does that actually look like, and what do I not know about it?
Well, one of the largest misconceptions is that it's just about sex. So when people see it, they see a greedy man, and they see dumb, manipulated women who willing to let him have his cake and eat it too, right? So it's absolutely not about that. I look at it more from an ancient standpoint of how our ancestors would have practiced it. So you have a man who I have sperm. My sperm still works. I want children. I want a lot of children. My first wife can no longer give me children. She had to have a hysterectomy early in life. Our first 2 children was a cesarean. They said we shouldn't have any more. And we got the tubes tied, but she ended up getting pregnant anyway. So we did have another son. He didn't care about nobody. He didn't get the memo, but she can't have any more. Obviously, she already had a partial hysterectomy. So I want to still have children, of course. So I have another wife for that, right? But I also am madly in love with both of the women I'm with. We get along.
Right.
I built relationships with them. It's not about sex. It's about our relationship. It's about what we're doing in life, right? So I have a plan for my family. Just like anybody will have a plan for a monogamous family, I have a plan for my family with 2 women, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, Lacey and I are having a baby now. We're working on our pregnancy. We're in the 2nd trimester now. And Jamie and I have 3 children.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. But just all in all, it's not all about sex. I've been young. I've had a lot of women. I've lived that part of my life. I always say an underdeveloped man is always thinking about sex. A developed man is thinking about life and success,
right,
and striving to accomplish something. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we set it up like, let's make a certain amount of income so that we can have an inheritance. So, you know, that's over 100 bands a year. You want to be able to do that. So over $10,000 to $15,000 a month is what I wanted to set up. Well, I wouldn't have done it.
All of y'all are working.
Well,
not business, but
sure.
The typical person, especially women, because you know women just annoying the way they think. They just like, first of all, most of you men can't take care of 2 women, and the first thing I'm like, why can't the women work? So like, I'm not finna be in no household and I'm the only one working. I got 2 grown ass people walking around. Right. We all gonna be doing something. So how does that look?
Right. I appreciate you for saying that too. And so to start it off, I'll say the Matrix has blinded us. It has us thinking that a man is supposed to carry all that load. Okay. And that's completely wrong. So in nature, okay, did you know that women were just as good as hunters as men? I'm talking about way back before the Matrix, when we were surviving out here in the wild. Women could pull that arrow back and shoot it just as good as a man. They may not be able to pick that deer up. Or
I was just about to say they can't drag it back to the house.
They can't drag it back. But archery, they would win competitions even against men. So they were good at hunting, fishing too. So this isn't something that's gender appropriate, right? So both of us can hunt. So any man who looking to take care of all of his women and the children in the family is going into it backwards. Your women, okay, hunt as well. So I'm the breadwinner. So I'm a breadwinner as much as I could free them from work before they ever had to make money, and I could provide for them until the garden starts to grow. So they till the garden, I hunt the meat, right? So I don't require as much from them, but they got to be out there tilling their garden. So what I did was I created businesses for them that they themselves run. So Lacey is a lot like myself. She's a content creator. She likes to teach and educate. So her stuff is by way of social media, right? And then doing counseling sessions and events. Jamie, she don't really like the camera like that. So she has feminine products and hygiene products that we use our platforms to help her sell those things. So she's able to quit her job. Jamie was a waitress for many years. She was able to quit her job. Lacey was a banker for many years, and they were both able to quit their jobs. I allowed that. I asked them to quit their job. I wanted them to work for me and with me. You know, so I always say this, a man getting with a woman, the first thing he should do, ladies, don't get mad at me, but put her to work. I know y'all don't like to hear that. Y'all like for a man to just marry y'all because he love y'all and y'all.
No, you finna work.
You're starting a business. A marriage is a business. So before we have a baby, this business will be our first baby. So I'm going to give you something to do, and you're going to show me how well you do it. And if you don't do it well, I'm not marrying you.
You got to get out.
Right. If we can't grow a business together, we can't grow a baby together.
Facts.
We just can't. So I always encourage men, start a business with this woman, because before I let you get on to me about me not texting this morning, I'd rather you talk to me about that order I didn't send. Because I don't want to build a relationship based on what we do for each other. Like, I don't want someone looking to fulfill a position with me in their life. Like, I want a man to give me attention and take me out. So that's really what I am. Even though I have a plan, To her, that's all you are. And she'll end up
Right.
leaving your ass halfway through and taking half of what you work for in this marriage, right? Because she was never really focused on no family. Never.
Yeah.
She just wanted a boyfriend. I swear to God. And you'll marry, and she'll marry you too. All that. But that's why I say men commit and women bond. Men commit. Like we really will commit to you. But women bond. If that bond gone, her commitment gone too. It is, man. Just, women don't understand that. You know, so build a business with her. So that way you ain't wasting your time and she ain't wasting hers. You understand? I full well even believe in those living together contracts. If you're gonna move in with each other, have a contract, build on this. That way you're setting yourself up for a real marriage. That way nobody's going into this empty-handed or going into it backwards. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So long story short, I made sure that they both were earning money. I am the bulk of it. I don't depend on their income, but their income is for investments and things like vacations and whatnot. And of course, when I'm making money, so I put money into savings every single month. But I don't say make y'all's money and just spend it. However, that's not how my family runs. We are a pack of wolves, or we are a pack of lions. When we go out hunting, everybody got to bring back some meat. So even my children. So a lot of parents, we raise these families on the backs of the husband, and this is why we die early. Okay,
that's why we die early.
The man is sitting here trying to pay all the bills. Even when his child gets a job, the children don't have to help out with the house stuff. You know, don't take your child's money, they say. And then we rush our children out because they grown and they eat a lot of food. When in all actuality, it should be like, I'm going to train you to where you can go out and take care of yourself. But your first job, I want you to help me pay off this house. Like now that you're a wolf and you're old enough to go out and hunt, the meat's for the pack. It ain't for you. Now, when you own, and you're doing that because you're going to own this house too. When I die, it's yours. So don't sit here and say I'm robbing you. You understand? So when we get this house owned, now you move out and hopefully you can move out and buy one and never rent. And I'll help you. I'll even co-sign. You see what I'm saying? As a family, we got to work together. So just imagine you got how many children?
I got 2 kids.
Imagine your children had this concept and now you're in 3 places at one time. You're one person, but you've created 2 future selves that now exist outside of you. So now you can be in 3 places. What if all of your future selves was dedicated to one cause? Dude, that's a family. It ain't a man trying to keep the roof over their head and everybody else just got their hands out wanting shit. You didn't buy me this, you didn't buy me that, but I got these bills, so you still should have bought it for me. That's an unproductive, broken home, even with the mama and daddy in it.
I agree.
My poly situation is everybody works, everybody eats, and everybody is creating a family. We were together 3 years, and I already live in a mansion that is $1.3 million. Okay, the surroundings is perfect. We don't have to leave the house. We don't go to movies. We don't go bowling. We enjoy our house. And guess what? We don't even go on vacations no more. The last time we tried, we'd all rather be at home. So the place we live is way nicer than any place that we'll go. So our money stay in the house. We paying off this big ass house. And then we want to buy a community. We want to move maybe out of the country, Costa Rica, something like that, buy a whole lot of land and really tribe out and get out of the country. But this is our mission, and everything we do is towards it. And with 3 grown-ups contributing to it, 3 children now contributing to it, man, the sky's the limit. It makes perfect sense, man.
I agree.
I got more money than I ever wanted in my whole life. And I have 2 women in my life. They're not greedy. They don't go to get their hair done. Okay. They both are natural. Lacey has locks. Jamie's natural. They do their own hair. I got to pay for some nails. Yeah. That's about it. But my ladies are not caught up into even making their face up like that. So I went and got women who I know, like you said, fit within my lifestyle and my mindset. Our motto is this. What's meant to be will be. And what we mean by that is we don't have to ask God to do nothing for us. We don't got to ask no God outside of us to open a door to make something possible. If it's in our mental and we all agree with the plan, it will happen because we're going to put the action forth to make it happen. So what's meant to be will be, and we get whatever we want, bro. Our God good to us because we realize that we are that. You understand? Our prayers get answered because all we have to do is come to each other with a goal in mind, and then we all work to accomplish that goal, man. Now, my wives are heterosexual. Okay, so I wouldn't have wanted it with wives who are sexually familiar with each other. I don't guess I would have been against it, but I prefer my women to not be sexual with each other and they both be with me. And that's what I got. I didn't want my women having no other man. So I didn't go into it saying, y'all can't have no other man. I went into it saying, what do you want? They didn't
Right.
want another man. That's what made it perfect for me. So
Right.
if that were to change and they wanted another man, they are choosing to be polyamorous, not polygamous. So they changed up. So I wouldn't go with that. They would now be single until they got 2 men.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me anybody want to drop a super chat? I'm reading them now. Shout out to Cookie. Trauma is dictating how we would treat stepkids. I totally agree. I like how you said that. And Rose said, what answer would you give if you reverse that scenario? Mother using fathers for step. Hold on, money. Mother using father's money for stepkids. What do you think about that?
Is that saying like if it was the father getting the mother to pay for everything for the child?
Yeah, I would say to me, the father would be a loser because why would that be happening? That's what I would say.
Right. Interject the double standard. Women wouldn't be required to come in like that. And if he's looking for a woman to do that, I would absolutely say he's a loser. People hate double standards, but man, I don't think you and I can see it differently. I'm 40. How old are you?
I'm 45.
45. Yeah, so we're brought up that men are utility and men supposed to man up. That's just how we brought up. So I don't think we're gonna see that as okay for a man to be having some woman take care of his child like that financially. That's ridiculous. I've seen men get with a woman and he has child support and she'll pay his child support for him. I see that as taking away his accountability. Make him pay for his own child. Right. That's crazy.
Right. Nowhere in hell. Nowhere in hell. So I look at a man has his role, a woman has her role. I'm not into all this partnership crap. It's just weird to me. It's sad. It's pathetic. So yeah, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And then Cookie says, that was my dad, fam, with one wife, respectfully. So yeah, so all together, everything you said having to do with the poly life, it just makes a lot of sense. And whether somebody chooses it or not, is for them. But altogether, I feel sorry for our women because they're out here single, looking crazy with no man, but they'll refuse to share a man with another woman. And I think that is problematic in itself. If you don't want to do something, cool. But if one way hasn't been working and you are just alone looking dumb with your little child, with your little pookie baby, and both y'all are broke, looking stupid, and you can join forces with another woman and be with a man and give your child a father figure or whatever, that just makes more sense. But a lot of our women don't have any sense. So it's just, they're just going to be
here's further proof that they're not thinking this through.
Looking stupid. Say it again.
Here's further proof that they're not thinking this through. Is they'll look at my union and say, no way am I sharing a penis. So they'll reduce a man of my intellect, my leadership skills, my ability to guide and be resourceful. They'll reduce me down to just a penis, right?
Right.
But here's the fact. If they are single, if they are sexually active, the man you sleeping with he's been with more than 2 women in 1 year. Trust me. Mm-hmm. Even if he's doing bad, he's been with more than 2 women in 1 year. Hopefully he getting that much at least. Yeah. So I'm with 2 women, man. That's it. They don't have to worry about me stepping out. I'm not one of those poly brothers who's looking to add to it. My agreement with my ladies was that they were it. Okay, mm-hmm. So I'm not out here still trying to vet and date other women, all that stuff either. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of men go into poly relationships where they still even cheat, even though they got 2 women committing to them. I'm a man of standard. I'm not doing any of that. So it's way more than just sharing a penis, family. You're talking about with there not being many guys out here as it is to lead with that type of ability. When you find one, it's probably okay to share them, but we live in a day now where women are more selfish. So let's just say you took a king, right? Mm-hmm. And the king, your baby would be protected if it's with him, right? Your baby would be in the kingdom, which means it'll be at least a high-ranking official, even if you a concubine, right? Right. So the king chooses you to be his wife. Now you can be with the king or you can be with the peasant. And if you're with a peasant, your child is not protected as much with the police. Your child's not protected as much in community education. So you can go be with the king, but you said, no, I want my own man. As a person who's looking out for the best interest of your child, You wouldn't put your ego first and choose your own man. You choose the king. I'm
Well,
telling you,
women
you would
don't.
choose the king.
Women don't look out for the best interests of their children. They
No,
don't.
they look out for themselves.
They look out for themselves. Women, our women never look out for the best interests of their children. It's always this is meant to feed their ego. So just like you said, would you rather be be in a cold relationship or a poly relationship with a king, or whether you rather be in a normal relationship with a peasant? Most of these women will get with a peasant because they don't have the cognitive ability to see life past what they already see. And the thing about it is, a lot of these women were raised by women. So they were raised by a senseless person. Their mama ain't had no damn sense. And then you expect her to have some sense. And it goes back to what I say about a woman having a father. A lot of these women have zero sense. They don't know what the hell they're doing in life. And they keep making decisions off of a senseless, sad, pathetic reality. So, and a lot of it is a poverty mindset.
It's
How you gonna have an egotistical side and a poverty side all at the same time? It's stupid.
Yeah, it makes no sense, because when you choose this peasant, you're not just getting your own man. That child's going to get his mindset and everything that he worked for in his life to learn. And that ain't going to be a lot. All he can give him is who he is. That's all he can give him. So why wouldn't you choose someone who's more qualified to teach your child things they might not ever know? And if you know this man knows more than you ever know, why are you competing with him when he tell you to do something? Why? And I always say to women,
he's a peasant. She chose a peasant on purpose because she's afraid of a king, because a king is going to require her to not get fat, to get a fat ass in the gym,
to be submissive,
drinking and eating stupid shit. And she doesn't want to not do. They're like children. They want to be rebellious to their man, and a king isn't going to put up with that. A peasant will.
Not at all. You're right, because a king got a whole kingdom to lose, and the king serves his kingdom. It's not really a dictatorship. He serves it. So if he fails, his children fail. You see what I'm saying? His whole legacy has failed. So he is trying to make the best moves for the betterment of the family. It ain't even about his own person. So it's sad. It's sad when the king is thinking about everybody else, but nobody's thinking about him. That's sad as hell. When you're thinking about everybody else and then everybody else is thinking about everybody else, that's a problem. And now the king got to think about himself, because now he got to protect himself from his would-be family that's going to destroy him because they're selfish. And a selfish mother will create selfish children. And your own very children will destroy you if the mother turns against you as well. We've seen this, man. That's why I say go get a woman who has longevity in mind. It's few of them, guys. So that's why it's so easy for Mr. Let Go to say women are senseless, because and generally speaking, they are. They don't really have the concept of the matrix or a good way to carry themselves. They were brought up more nurtured, or more protected, more sheltered. So they're out here with a child's mind. Most of our children we had them out of the house before they even know what credit is or how to take care of themselves.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're thinking that we kicking men out at 18 before they can take care of themselves, men live in a world where they have to be accountable to their own decisions and mistakes, though. A woman, I always hear this in the red pill community, but it's 100% true. If she has a baby, they'll give her a check for that. Okay. If she gets pregnant, she got an abortion for that. She got pills for that. But if she carries it full term, she can give it up for an adoption, right? They'll take the baby off her hands. In none of these scenarios is she called a deadbeat. Now, she gives the baby up for adoption, meaning that she is forsaking her parental obligation. That's the definition of deadbeat, one who forsakes their parental obligation. So if she gives the child up for adoption, the community don't shame her and call her a deadbeat. Why not? If she tricks a man into believing it's his child and he's not, why is she shamed in the community forever? Because if that man don't be there for his child, we're going to beat that man up forever with our words. But this is what I mean by they don't have to be accountable. That's why they can do this guy wrong, trick that one, trick a baby on him, poke a hole in this one's condom, still get a baby out of it, and then force him to take care of it. They don't have no laws set up to keep women from being toxic. They just don't. So when you ask why are men moving so tactical when it comes to women, it's because they get away with all this shit. So we got to move like we don't trust them. Because if they were to do it, you can't do nothing about it. That's scary as hell. Because you hope she don't turn the baby. you hope she wouldn't trick a baby on you. Like you really hope that she wouldn't say, we're pregnant, and really it's just her pregnant. Because that's
Right.
messed up. Because you thinking y'all got a baby. You're not excited. Now, as a man, women think we don't get excited about stuff like that. They think we're heartless. So they think it's okay to lie like that, man. But it's not. And even if what they thought was true, you lying to your child. So it's like they don't have no respect for a man, but at least respect your child.
Yeah.
Because that's who you ultimately lying to about their daddy.
A lot of our trauma as men and women came from women, not men. Now, a lot of, so I would say the most of the emotional trauma that we endured came from women. Most of the physical trauma that we endured came from men, but what's more like hurtful long term, the physical trauma or the emotional trauma?
That mental trauma is something, man.
Right, the emotional trauma. I get hit in the head with a baseball. That's physical trauma. That ain't going to make me a different type of person. But if I get ridiculed, dismissed every time I have an issue, or treated like crap, or told that I'm not enough, that's going to last for the rest of my life. So the emotional trauma is worse than a physical trauma. And I'm not saying to a woman that has been R'd or M'd by a man, I'm not a woman, and I know that's something that never goes away, because that's actually physical and emotional. So I'm not saying that, but altogether, the single mother epidemic has traumatized millions of Black people and white people, and now we're so screwed up and we're senseless because we don't know what we want. We don't know what we need, and our lives are we're living like peasants simply because we don't have enough sense. Because a lot of you ladies, y'all left y'all house at the age of 17. I'm willing to guarantee. Put a one in it.
Get this. That was their age, Mr. Let Go.
Hold on. Before you say that, let's do this.
All right.
If you left your mama's house before the age of 17, put a one in the chat. If you either left your mama's house on your own, or you were put out before or at the age of 17, put a one in the chat. Go ahead.
I would like to know, knowing what they know now, how old would they say they were mentally? Because even though they were at age 17, I would say they were probably 12 in the mind. Okay, so even if she's 25 leaving the house, she probably 15 in the mind. Because that's what I see a lot with women, that they can be grown adults, 25, 35 years old, but they really 15 or 16, 17 years old in their mind, based on what they've been accountable for in life. You understand? And it sucks, because that's why you say women in large part are not accountable, and not being accountable only hurts your life. But they won't be accountable just to win a damn argument. Like, just to win an argument, they won't be accountable. And I always say, the person who's accountable wins, right? Like, my goal is to be accountable to every mistake I make, because that makes me my best self. But when you avoid being accountable, it's your life that keeps being messed up. And that's what women are doing. They will not be accountable. Everything's your fault that they did. And how is that your fault and they did it?
Check this out real quick. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Check this out.
Not intellectually capable of making their own. Women are not intellectually capable of making their own decisions properly to safeguard themselves.
This is what you have to remember. The average Black woman in America don't get no older than about 14. So just talk to her and deal with her like you dealing with a 14-year-old. Don't come at her like you dealing with an equal, because she's not going to be able to accept that. You got to go way back. We cut off at about 14 to 15. We don't develop and mature no further until we get some new information and accept some different information.
Woo! Listen, she on it. That's a fact. But that also means don't be emotionally invested in her as if she's a peer. She does not have the same type of understanding that you do.
That's all I say. And I get demonized every day when I say women are children. And everybody hit the like button. 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 This conversation on got real good. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Drop a super chat. I'm about to read super chats in a minute. Cash App is Aaron1000. Contribute to the channel. If you enjoy what's going on, pay your dues, contribute to the channel. You know, it ain't got to be no $100, but contribute to the channel. Either do super chat or Cash App, which is Aaron1000, or buy my card game. And my card game is is linked at the top of the chat. But go ahead. What you about to say?
It might have slipped me. Well, we was just talking about
women are children, and women don't they don't mature past the age of 14.
Right. And so this is why I say women have to be very technical, if they can be, when choosing a husband, because they should choose someone who is equipped for life. Because even if she feels that she is, and women are very strong on feelings, man. They in validation, because I think that helps them feel a certain way. So they
help them validate their own existence.
Right. So they feel like they can take the bull by the horns and take on life. They do, but they actually are ill prepared. So I try to tell women that when you tell a man, yes, I'll marry you, you are electing him to make decisions even against your better judgment. You made him your husband because you believe that he'll make the decision that's best for you with you in mind. If he managed money better than you, why would you argue with him? Like, why are you arguing with your husband? It makes no sense, because you elected him to be the leader of your family. And so if you're doing it and you're arguing with him, it's you out of line. This is why, listen, wives hate this, but I'll be like, if y'all having an hour-long argument, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed, even if he's wrong, it's your fault. Don't argue back and forth with him. You gotta hope your leader sees it and corrects that. But you're not his mother. You don't get to do that. But he does get to do that with you. Because you made him your leader.
Is the fault of the woman. Any argument is the fault of a woman, because her job is to sit her ass down somewhere and be quiet.
Now, especially if she's being argumentative. If she says, I agree, you're right, and he's still going in, then he's an emotional, feminine man. You understand? Right. And he was probably raised by his mother.
It goes back to her because she chose an argument, a feminine man.
That's a fact.
So it still goes back to her. Every argument is a fault of the woman.
But as men, we should always be willing to make those self-corrections. So know when you're overly emotional and you beating a dead horse over the head. Once you said what you had to say, sir, move on. Don't harp. That's very woman-like. I know our mothers did that. Our grandmothers did that. When we were bad, they gave us a whooping and was still mad after. Like my grandmother, man, she give you a whooping for doing something. You go in the room an hour later.
She's still mad.
What? What you want? She's still mad at you.
Still mad.
That's not the correct way to parent. You don't terrorize your children with your foolish anger. You shouldn't even be mad at a child, to be honest with you. So
women operate through emotion, and
they punish with emotion. Even if they punish you physically, they don't know how to not punish you with emotion. So even if she whips her child, thereafter, there's going to be some distance that she creates between her and that child. And that child gonna want the mother's love, and she ain't going to give it to him. That's just how they are, man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but yeah. So let me read these super chats real quick. Anonymous one, thank you for the super chats. Anonymous one has been holding it down for us. I appreciate you. Legacy co-pilots. That's how we build. Your woman should be contributing member to the legacy. Shout out to Cookie. You've been dropping knowledge. I appreciate you, Cookie. This is why I waited to date. My parents were best friends. Men are greedy. A woman with a father don't accept poly. My dad is a real king. Love yourself. Well, it's not about loving yourself, Cookie. It's about understanding. Because, okay, women love to sit around and say love yourself with no context, right? But it goes back to women don't have a lot of sense. Women just say random dumb shit in order to make themselves feel better because they operate off of emotion, right? So love yourself with no context makes no sense, because a man can say, well, I love myself. My dick get on hard, so I'm going to stick it in a woman. That ain't loving yourself. That's soothing himself, right? A woman can say, love yourself, go eat a tub of ice cream because a man broke her heart. That's not loving yourself. That's soothing yourself, right? So Loving yourself with no context being said to a woman is going to make that woman with a child brain go out and do some stupid shit. All right.
It sounds
So
like become entitled and expect the most for very little.
right. So when any woman that tells other women to love themselves without context is an idiot, because you're hurting women. The biggest enemy to black women is other black women. I'm not going to say never listen to other black women, but when you listen to other black women, most likely you're going to get pushed into a ditch because y'all don't like each other. So when y'all run around saying love yourself, telling women to love yourself is actually hurting other women because they don't have enough contextual understanding of what love yourself means. Okay. So it's soothing yourself, which is bad, and then loving yourself. And part of loving yourself as a woman is what you aren't doing and not what you are doing. So the more you're able to love yourself, that means you have a certain amount of discipline, and then you have a certain amount of understanding of what is best for you. And when it comes to you as a woman, if being poly is what's best for you and your kids or unborn kids, that is loving yourself. But when loving yourself means single and you're doing whatever and you out here looking stupid and your kid ain't got no daddy and no father figure, just like you said in an example, would you rather be in a kingdom with a king and you have to share him with another woman, or would you rather be in poverty with a peasant or in poverty alone with your kid? You are an idiot because you're not doing what's best for the child. You're doing what's best for your ego. And the bottom line is, the way life is, you as a black woman will share a man whether you like it or not, and you don't have a choice because you are a woman. We as a world protect and run your life, whether it's us or whether it's white folks, whether it's police, whether it's a congressman, whether it's a president. You don't have no choice of virtually anything you do. Every morsel of food that touches your tongue comes from a man, whether it's a processing center, whether it's a store, whether it's a salesperson, whether it's a politician. You don't feed yourself. You don't hunt. You don't do nothing. Even the water you drink comes from men. When your sink works, you don't know where the water comes from. A man or a group of men somewhere is processing and filtering that water and pumping that water through your damn faucet. When you take a bath, you don't know where that water comes from. And without men, your ass be stinking every day. The pads you use come from men, were created and invented by men. But y'all want to run around saying, No, it ain't no It's what we want. And the day you realize it's about what we want, what we require from y'all, y'all are going to continue to have crappy lives and live y'all goofy asses in poverty. That's what it actually is. Y'all don't have no damn choice. Your choice is either look stupid and be in poverty or have a man and operate under a man's leadership. Go ahead.
Well, you said something there that was key about that loving yourself thing. One of the things I always try to say is words have definitions, like they actually mean things. So if you're just a person who like to paint your world with words, your life in the end will be very sad, but you'll feel good in the moment because words make you feel good. But if you're not about action, your life will not look good. So this is one of the things I say religion did to us. Okay. I don't know your take on it, but one of my problems with religion is they tell us this God that is their idea, their conceptual idea, wants us to pray to it via talking. And what I say is you got to be about action and making your life better. What is you talking to somebody that you can't see going to do for your life? Why not just, if you want to harvest, just plant a seed. And you'll notice that the universe will listen to that. Like you plant a harvest, a seed will grow. If me and an axe murderer, my next door neighbor who's an axe murderer, if he plants a seed of corn and I plant a seed of corn, we both going to get corn.
Yes.
So life is about your doing, right? Not who you ask for it. So I try to tell women that words are things. They're real things. Now, you can't just go around using words. They have meaning. So there's a video a while back where this woman was asked by her husband to clean up the mess that him and his father made. So they're building a house for his new wife, right? And he left some things kind of out and about. and he leaves a letter saying, babe, I had to run off to work. Can you make sure you clean up our work area for us? And instead of cleaning up the work area, she goes live to show what they did to her, right? So she just got off work too, okay?
Yeah.
She's a barber. She got home and she sees a bunch of mess on the floor. She don't want to have to clean it up. She feels like they should have done it because they made the mess, right? But before she does the video, she says, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. And I already had to pause it and say, but you're not.
You're not.
Grateful ain't a word. Grateful is a definition. If you were grateful, even though you were tired after a long day's work, you would have got that up because you know they're building you a house and you're grateful. You can't just say I'm grateful and then act not grateful. Men hate that because that's not logical.
Because it's dumb.
You'll come home, she'll be mad, right? And you'll say, what you mad about? And she'll go, nothing. I ain't mad about nothing.
She won't even be able to articulate what she mad about.
Right, but you literally are mad, but you telling me you mad about nothing. Like, you know, you sound crazy, right? So yeah, words are things. So when a woman talks about loving herself, typically what she talk about is putting face makeup on, okay? Going out and getting pampered, right? Getting her nails done. When actually what loving yourself is eating right, okay? Getting in the gym, okay? Being cooperative with the husband in your life. That's what loving yourself. It looks like making decisions that help your life go further.
Let me say something real quick. Loving myself is, I haven't eaten today yet, and it's 3:30. This is called intermittent fasting, right? I wake up and I don't eat anything until at least after 12, right? We got on here at 12. That means I ain't eat nothing because I don't eat before 12 most of the time, right? So part of loving myself is not filling my body up with food and then sitting on my ass and being on a show for 2 hours. What I'm gonna eat before I get on here for? Because I'm sitting down. That is not loving myself. I'm not gonna go fill my body up with food and sit down. No, if I eat, it's gonna be, I'm gonna eat and go do something, right? That is what loving yourself is. It's about discipline. It's about systematic thinking.
To add to that, Mr. Let Go, you'll likely even eat for health and not taste. So I'll give you guys an example. My brother always says, the truth, he always says, I love salmon, right? It's one of his favorite foods. So he'll say, I love salmon. And so I'll tease him. I'll say, do you love salmon or you like the taste of salmon? Be real. And he'll be like, no, I love salmon. I say, bro, if you loved salmon, you wouldn't be eating them. You would be out trying to protect them. You love salmon as in you love the experience of salmon when you eat salmon, right?
Wait. You said if you love salmon, you wouldn't be eating it. You would be protecting salmon from being eaten.
You love the taste of salmon. Therefore, you say, I love salmon. So this is how a lot of people work. Sometimes if they love you, they love how you make them feel.
Yes.
They love the sex. They love the how they feel when you sex in them. They think that's real love. That's why I say you got to get out of that. Love is action. Love ain't how you feel. Love is what you're doing, man. So love is not how salmon tastes, right? Yeah. It can't be, because then you'll only be seeking self-gratification. How many times you hear a woman saying, look, if I want to sleep around, if I like doing that, if it please me, if it make me happy, what's the problem? Yeah. Right? That's like a man saying the same thing. Well, if I like messing with 20 women in a month, that's on me if I want to do that. Yes, sir, but it creates single mothers. Right. It's going to get you some type of disease. It's going to get you a bunch of children that you can't take care of and slow down your life. And now your money ain't your money. It's y'all's money. And that, trust me, your well-being is going to dramatically be decreased if you just live for self-gratification today, right? Soothing, like you said. So you will ruin your life being in love with yourself because you don't know what love is.
You don't know what love is. And you're going to love yourself in a wrong way. And this is what women out here are doing. They're loving themselves uncontextually.
So watch this right here, real quick. When a man goes to a woman and he woos her, meaning he tells her everything she wants to hear, and she feels the feeling of love, I love him. He's saying everything I like to hear, everything I want to hear him say, he's saying, right? That ain't love. That's called infatuation. Yes. So what love is her with good faith committing to this man and his authority and submitting to him. That's love.
And sitting her ass down somewhere.
If you ain't working with him, you don't love him. If y'all sitting here arguing, that ain't love, man.
That ain't.
You see what I'm saying? So they'll sit here and say they love you, but all they mean is you make them physically happy. Like they get dopamine in their brain when they're around you. That's about the limit that they have grown to and understanding they've grown to. You see what I'm saying? So they don't really have a concept for love. Now, when I was a child, my parents would tease. I come home saying I love this girl at school. Boy, you don't know what love is. The problem was they never told me. They just criticized me for not knowing what love was, right?
Right.
They never told me what love was either. So I don't think they know, and I think it's ambiguous. So I created my reason for love, or what I want to call love, is working together, man. So I love my wives whenever I save my money instead of squandering on stupid things and putting it in places that save my family. Right? So if something happens and now I got savings to take care of it, the reason I have it is because I loved my family. You don't think it was some other stuff I wanted? Like that would have made me happy in the moment? Of course,
I look at love
right?
like I look at love as protection. I protect my body from all this food and all this, like
right.
You know, like it's like I'm not gonna smoke crack. I'm not gonna smoke this. I'm not gonna smoke that. I'm protecting my body from the world, right? So when you add an outside, no matter what it is, stimulus to your body, is it helping your body or is it hurting your body? You feel me? And a lot of the things that we do, smoking weed and drinking and all this other stuff, it's meant to soothe you, but so that means you don't love yourself. So if you drinking all the time, you don't love yourself because you're soothing yourself. I don't really care about soothing myself. Now, sex and different things, that's soothing. But the thing about it is, I care about where I put my dick at.
Right.
You know?
Even with sex, though, as men, we have to understand we're underdeveloped if sex is all we think about.
Right.
So the government would like that. Marketing would like that. They want you making more babies. They want you spending your money to access sex. They want you constantly thinking about sex. So a man who's constantly thinking about sex is not going to manifest success. Right. So you're like if you're with a whole bunch of guys who saying, "What you think of her ass? Would you hit her? Would you hit that? Would you hit that?" Please change your friends. Of course you would. Of course you'd hit that. Why is it the subject of your conversation, right?
Why is it a subject? Right.
Right. So like you said, like loving yourself often, you won't feel love. So like let's say you look like you work out, you look like you healthy. So when you're in the gym working out, especially when it first started, that's something that brought about pain and tiredness, not love. You're actually gonna be very sore the next day.
Right.
So like it don't feel good, but you're doing this because you know you'll be healthier, right? And so you go every day and get this rude awakening about how weak you are, how you don't weigh what you want to weigh, how you don't look like you want to look. The reason you putting yourself through that every day is because you love yourself, but it don't feel like love. You actually hate yourself. You hate what you look like in the mirror. You hate how you feel. So loving yourself looks like changing that shit. But people don't know
love is about
they
change.
think loving yourself is take a woman who's overweight. The world tells her to love herself even though she's overweight. Now take a man who's overweight. The world tells him love yourself by changing it, by getting up and going and working out, because the world ain't gonna be given to you, man. You got to go get it. So that's why we backwards. They say women, okay, just accept that you are beautiful, even though you don't work out, even though you don't have a diet. You beautiful to somebody. Be happy. What happens? That validation gives her immediate sense of love, of appreciation, of right. But you didn't go earn it, and earning it takes time, man. Like when you tell a man go for success, Rome is not built in a day. You're not gonna have your success today. Yo, man, you might not have the success till 10 years from now. Like when you go working out, you might not look like you want to look till 5 to 10 years from now. But you can't stop. And the reason you will accomplish that is because you loved yourself. You pushed even when it didn't feel good. So that's why I see a lot of people, they say, I don't love this person no more. What they're saying is, I don't get goosebumps or, butterflies or this dopamine, right? And men who operate that way, they're feminine. They're feminine.
See,
when
I
men
don't
operate by love, it makes you more bent on emotion versus logical. Not that nothing's wrong with love, but be logical over emotional.
My daughter, we was playing a card game, right? And one of the questions was, how many exes do you still love? Right? My daughter asked this. I said, all of them, because I don't look at love as this little loopy emotion, right?
Right.
And I said, I love your mama. I love, this, because my kids know some of my exes. I love this person. I love that person. She was like, so you love all of them? I said, yeah. She said, why? I said, I don't understand the question. What do you mean? Because I once loved them. I still love them. You know, love is about protection. It's not this soothing type of, you know, oh, we together. You know, I'm never gonna not love her mama, you know. So she was like, okay, that makes sense. And I told her, I said, you gotta remember, women are children. So y'all love people like y'all love toys. You know what I'm saying? Y'all pick up a toy like a child and y'all love it, but the second a toy breaks or you find a better toy, you don't love that toy no more. We don't operate like children. We operate like adults. So when I love a woman, I still love her, even though I'm not getting dopamine from her or sex from her or time from her. That don't make a difference. I still love her. And she was like, okay, that makes sense. But I had to get her to understand, like, you know, y'all have different brains than we do, you know? So let me read these super chats real quick. Cookie says, this is, hold on, that's the wrong one. She says, I was traveling the world with my dad running track at 18. I went to college for free. There is a hierarchy. Yes, shut up. Shut up as in, yes, the woman is supposed to shut up, but not if you sharing the fuck. Okay, that's on you. But you know, everybody has their own wants and needs or whatever. Chef Works, thank you for the super sticker. And then they love it is what it is. You know, women are gonna be women. They always gonna be like, love yourself. You know, it's kind of I'm one thing with me. I'm never going to ridicule or demonize women for being women. I want women to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Women are going to say dumb shit. They're going to be lost. They're going to be loopy. They're going to be emotional. That's what I love about women. So I'm never, and that's why I don't really believe in holding women accountable, because women can't be held accountable because they're children. Men have to be held accountable. The way we change women is by not dating the type of women that we don't want. And they're going to get so mad and so desperate where they're going to be like, all right, I need to lose some weight. All right, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna start wearing wigs. And next thing, they'll be for us. But we have to love ourselves by having a certain amount of discipline, by not sleeping with the stupid women. You know what I'm saying? So once they realize they can't get no penis, they're going to start making changes in their own lives. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's this or whether it's that. So altogether, I'm always going to allow women to just be themselves because they're women, you know, and I accept women for being women.
And what you were saying about sleep. What you saying?
We about to end it. We about to end this in about 5 minutes, y'all. So if y'all want to get y'all super chats in, if y'all want to have something to say, drop all your super chats right now, because we're going to end in 10 minutes. So if you want to drop something in a super chat or say something in the super chat, say it now or forever hold your peace. We about to end this in about 10 minutes. And if you have not already bought my card game, make sure to hit the link that is pinned at the top of the chat. I'm dropping a link now to buy the card game now. And if you're on Facebook, the link to buy the card game is at the top of the video. It's sitting over the title of the video. So you can easily, you can easily find a link on Facebook. But go ahead.
So one of the things that one of your super chatters put in there about if we sharing, then I'm not shutting up. I'm thinking she's saying in a relationship where she's paying half the bills also. Mm-hmm. And she may be more prone to being argumentative versus if he's footing the bill. I think that's what she was saying. I would say, ladies, still no. Just because of the nature of who you are, man and woman, even if y'all going in half on them bills, you should not be arguing back and forth with that man. His roles are not going to change. He's still your protector. Even if both of y'all are handling the resources today, this doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be. What I wish women will understand is that a lifelong relationship is built on seasons. Yeah, today you may be working because women are supposed to hunt, but there will be times whenever you can't put in as much work as he can. You can't do it now. He's physically stronger than you. He can work 2 or 3 jobs and not get as tired as you. But the fact is, when she carries a baby, she will slow down. And this baby don't just affect her when she's carrying it. It affects her long term. Her body is different once she has a baby. Now, men can shoot him out and not even know. He don't even know he got a girl pregnant until she tell him. It does not hurt our body. So
Yeah.
he should be the provider because he's in the biological vessel that's equipped to carry the provisions, right? He ain't gonna ever slow down pending he don't get sick. And if you're a good nurturer, you should be giving him the right foods to keep him healthy, right? So
Right.
this is why you shouldn't be arguing back and forth with a man, even if y'all splitting bills. It's because seasons will change. One day he is going to be footing that bill, I'm telling you. And even if he never will, based on y'all's nature, don't argue back and forth with each other. Now, I encourage men the same way. Don't get you a wife that you got to yell and scream at and talk to any kind of way. Because if you do that, you're provoking her. And what's the chances of her being talked to any kind of way and not have nothing smart to say later on? Everybody got some fight in them, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to my wives, I'm talking to them like sensible adults. And I'm not getting smart with them. This is stuff that your authority of a man shouldn't even have to be disclosed unless they uncover it, meaning they're challenging you. And now you got to be that gorilla who beat his chest.
Right.
And once you do that, the other gorillas can't say, well, you don't have to beat your chest even though I did something wrong. No, I do have to. Like the moment you get out of line, I have to show my authority because I am the leader. Like it's ridiculous for you to get smart with the man, then get mad because he raised his voice. Like that's what happens when a man get mad. That's what happens. Stop getting smart. Stop doing him dirty. Show some respect. If he's showing you respect and he ain't going to you out of pocket, show it to him. Because I'm telling you, man, like the moment you get smart back with him or get smart with him and he ain't get smart with you, now that's your fault. You starting an argument. I don't care who pay the bills. If I'm with a woman and she pay all the bills, yo, you still not about to argue back and forth with me. And I'm not going to argue back and forth with her because here's the thing, man. Let's say I say something slick to her, right? And she start yelling. Say I start yelling. I ain't taking it no further than that. And so now I've already broke down her walls to where she's disrespecting me. And I know I ain't about to do nothing about it because I'm not going to hit her. So she did just yell at me. She did call me out by name.
Though. Once she starts yelling at me, and if I start yelling at her, I am now a woman.
Right. It's only one place that can go. So if you and I, Mr. Let Go, are in a room and it's you and I, if we start yelling, we know that can go somewhere real quick. But there is no rules that we can't engage.
Right.
Right. So now you're sitting down with a woman and you're doing the same thing.
It don't make no sense.
Corny.
Right.
If she got you that pissed off, just leave. Just leave or get rid of her. This is what I say.
Just get rid of her ass.
If you're not married to and have children with her, you got to get rid of her. You got to. Because you're going to put yourself in a worse situation by sitting here arguing with it. If you lose your cool, bro, that's your life or your freedom. Okay. And sometimes if you get her angry enough to argue with you, the way women fight ain't necessarily hitting you. It's with lying on you. So before I sit there and argue with a woman and get her mad enough to fight the way they fight, and it ain't fair, they're going to call the police on you, say you did something you didn't do. They're going to go tell their parents something different happened and ruin your relationship with the family, right? They'll go tell them or they'll just go say that you did whatever they did to you. They'll lie. They'll just say you said what they said to you. They'll change the situation up. They know they wrong, but women really need validation. They really want to be right. So if they not right in your situation, they'll go tell a story differently to somebody else so they can be right
in order to fit. Yep. Right.
But that's the smart soothing nature inside your family.
That's the soothing nature of women. They need to feel soothed some damn where. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So as a man, like you said, understand that they're children, and hopefully you can give them that understanding even when they're wrong. You can understand how they feel, but you're not making decisions based on how you feel. You're making them for the family. So this is why I won't buy you that bag for your birthday. This is why I won't do this thing, whatever you whining about. Because see, here's what happens real quick. Let's just say you come to the home and you just got off work, Mr. Let Go, right? Now you don't work 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
You haven't taken her out to eat in 2 months. So you come home and she goes, you don't ever take me out no more. I'm mad. Now you've been at work all day and you came home to problems, right? Now she's holding you accountable to taking her out, or she's mad, right? Now you're not holding her accountable to taking you out, or you're mad, right?
Yeah.
Now, so let's say you weigh this thing. Logically speaking, if you don't have the budget to take her out, and right now you just have the money to put food on the table, and you don't have the budget to be going out and tipping, should you take her? Or should the answer be no? No, we're not going out to eat. No. Even if she's mad, we're not going out to eat, right?
Well, with me, I don't give a damn if she's mad. She can leave.
Right, but a lot of men do. A lot of men say happy wife, happy life, and they'll go ahead and break the bank and go do that.
Happy husband, or you get the hell out. That's my whole thing. It ain't happy wife, happy life. It's happy husband, or you get the hell out. You get out. Just you go. Bye. You can go. I don't care.
Actually have to be necessarily happy, but you have to be in line. I won't always be happy. My rules ain't even made so I can always be happy. My rules are made
you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I do. But let's just say, like, she says, take me out to eat. Here's what she's forgotten about. Every time you take her out to eat, Mr. Let Go, she doesn't have to cook. So that means the food that you purchased stays in the fridge. Now, you already bought food. That's what you had the money for, the food that's here already. But you don't want to eat that. So she's on you about taking her out to eat. So, okay, we'll go out, but you paying for it.
It's still me.
If she wants to go out to eat,
now I'm paying for food that I already paid for in the refrigerator.
So watch this. If you're providing and she wants to go out to eat and you're not making her foot the bill for living, why doesn't she pay for the food? Food is her thing. So why isn't she paying for the food and the tip? Because this waitress is now doing what she would have been doing. But she wants you to do it.
That's the reason why women have the obligation to sit their asses down somewhere, because we are always the one who's going to fit the bill.
We're at a disadvantage every time.
Right. So sit down, because that's all we want from a woman, to sit her ass down somewhere.
So get this. Now you take her out to eat, right? Because she complaining and she's saying she wants you to take her out to eat. So as the husband, you know how we do. We'll take them out to eat and we pay. Now on the way home, she want to argue about something. Hell no, we not. No, we not. Like, I just took you out to eat. I just did all of this for you. Like, you think I'm tired? You think I want to be out driving through traffic and opening your doors? And listen, if I'm doing, here's my thing. I'll take you out. I'm tired. I'd rather be sitting down somewhere. But I'll take you out. I'll open your doors. I'll be a perfect gentleman. But love, you have to foot the bill for that meal, and you have the money because I let you keep your money. You ain't gonna make me this dog that has to pull your sled. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
And because if she's sitting there and want to be taken out sometime, now she got the right to act like a child when you come home. No, not at all. And that way I say happy husband or else. I'm not about to walk through the door for
work. That's what I'm saying.
And I come into more arguments. That's crazy. All the bills paid, if it's food in the fridge and I hadn't done anything to you, I shouldn't come home to no argument. It shouldn't be you keeping a tally on how often I take you out and using that as something to argue about. That's not bad behavior, me not taking you out. I don't want to hear it like that. So in other words, you should come to me and say, hey, baby, let's go out to eat tonight. Because I'm actually coming home wondering where the food is anyway. So if I come home to an argument about eating and there ain't no food on the table, that's a problem anyway. So if I come home and she says, baby, I already made reservations, let's roll out. She covering the meal. You cover the meal, sweetheart.
You cover the meal. I agree.
And if she don't want to do it, I would feel like she's entitled. Because she thinks I'm supposed to just pay for everything, and she thinks I'm her wallet. That ain't how that works, man. Fellas, if you take a woman out and you're footing the bill, when you tell her she can order anything she wants on the menu, if she goes extra expensive, that's an indication that's not the woman for you. If she's ordering drink after drink after drink, especially if she ain't finishing them, don't take her out again. If I'm buying you alcohol and you ain't finishing the drink at least, and then you expect me to just pay for it, you didn't. I'm talking about you ordered one because it got watered down. Like you really skipping over drinks here. You don't respect me. You don't care about my future. You didn't even ask me. I didn't even know I was paying.
Right.
Don't let a woman take advantage of you. Because if you do, she'll actually believe that you're her wallet. And it's not even with evil intent. A lot of women actually believe if a man ain't doing all of that, he don't care about her. They're backwards. And a lot of their daddies taught them that bull crap. They got
a lot of their mamas. A lot of their mamas taught them that bull crap.
Well, I grew up around men cocking shotguns for little. And they treat the boys like they're chaotic and the girls are sweet and innocent. And we know girls ain't always like that. So we shouldn't put our boys through that and girls through like they're innocent. We cocking the shotgun for our boys. When your boy about to take a girl out, it's to the point now, Mr. Let Go, well, you gotta ask, what's your intentions for my son? You ain't just trying to use him, is you? You ain't just trying to now. It's almost like you gotta fucking put her. I mean, my bad, but put her.
No.
They dangerous too. They dangerous too.
I get it, but my son, I arm my kids with what they need. So it's my kids' responsibility with the things that I armed them with. So no, I get what you're saying, but yeah. But look, we're gonna end this show. This was a great show. We gotta do this again, bro. Yeah, we
I
got to
love
do
how you
this
think,
again.
bro. Good build.
Yeah, this was dope. This was dope. So everybody, if you have not already hit the like button, hit the like button. If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button. If you have not already subscribed to Kevin Wesley's YouTube channel, subscribe to his channel now. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel now. If you have not already bought my card game, buy my card game now. Let's get it, because this was a great conversation, and we got to do this again.
To give you and other players deeper discussion card game is meant to give you and other players deep understanding of how we all deal with relationship when or if things get serious. The biggest reasons why people break up is because of underlying family issues. This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group, so have fun.
Question number 1. What is the one thing you wanted but didn't receive when you were young? Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad. What is the most annoying attribute about the opposite sex?
Deeper discussions dating edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. It'll even tell you what's wrong with your sneaky link. If you and your sneaky link need to have a conversation, these are the cards.
And you can fix yourself and
And
figure out the why.
The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out. After
durable.
And last super chat, Cookie, I appreciate you. You've been through these, you've been in these super chats plenty of times. I appreciate you. I was raised to fix toys, y'all, but most women, and this is another issue with a lot of women, they always look at themselves and say, well, my life was this, knowing damn well your life was different. Most women were not raised to fix no freaking toys. So if you were raised to fix toys, good for you. But you were the only one that was raised to fix a damn toy. So stop it.
Look, that's why I always say we're not talking about all women, even though it feels like it.
That's the most annoying thing, bro. Women always internalize everything. And, you know, it's like they have no understanding that there are billions of other women out here doing dumb shit. So just because you're not doing dumb shit, don't mean it don't exist. It's like, every time you off work, there's no job happening. Nobody's at work doing nothing because you ain't there. But that's a child mind. A woman has a child's mind. But yeah, I want to appreciate you for pulling up. This was a dope ass conversation, man. And is there anything you want to share with the audience before you go?
Now just stay tuned, man, for more content. I do this all the time, family, where I break videos down and talk about how we can move a little better for the healthiness of our community. So definitely, if you don't follow me already, please do that. And to all of my contributors, to all of my followers, Mr. Let Go is somebody who I listen to on a regular basis. So I've been following him for a while. He makes great content. And I would encourage young men to actually listen to this brother. Now, I always say, even with my content, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. But through listening to other brothers who don't live life, you're supposed to structure in your plan for life. It don't have to be exactly the way we see life. You understand? But get with brothers that know more than yourself. Put them in your frame so you can have a better life, man. Don't fly by the seat of your pants. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But other than that, family, make sure you go follow this brother. I'm definitely going to get that card game. And it's crazy because I had a similar idea in mind because, like I said, I do videos breaking down good questions to ask on dates. I wish I would have thought about some cards, man. That is amazing. So yeah, I wish much success to you, and I'm definitely gonna get that card game. I might do some content with it when I get it too. Hopefully, I can get some more sales for you. That's a great idea.
We can have a card game party. You know what I'm saying? We both in Atlanta. Just get some guys, get some women together, and all of us just sit at a table and just pull a card and just have a conversation. I think that'd be dope.
That would. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that's a bet.
All right. But all right, man, have a good rest of your day. I am out of here. I'm gonna get something to eat at 4:00. But this is what loving yourself means, y'all. I ain't ate nothing, and I'm about to eat for the first time at 4:00. What that means is I love myself due to my level of discipline. That's what loving yourself means, not soothing yourself trying to eat all day. You know what I'm saying? So have a great rest of your day, brother.
Yes, sir. You too, King. Looking forward to the next build.
All right. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. And like I said, if y'all have not already bought the card game, the link is in the chat. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. The link on Facebook is at the top of the video, like over the actual title. That will be fire. I appreciate y'all for coming on, and I just want to leave y'all with this. I'm out with my Deeper Discussions card game. And the significance of this game versus any other game out there is we are not having enough deep discussions with the people we're dating, and these relationships end up lasting way longer than they need to. What if I told you that playing a simple, fun card game will help you vet the person you're dating better? We all know that it's pee in a dating pool, right? But what do you do about this? Over 80 intriguing questions that will help you vet your mate better or the person you're dating better. How did you contribute to your most recent relationship ending? Explain the relationship you had with a guardian that you resented the most. How did your last relationship affect you, positively or negatively? After playing this game, and you're not going to get done with the whole game in one sitting, you're going to have so much of a better understanding of not only the other person, but yourself. You know why? Because you now have a fun excuse to have deeper discussions. So either click the link below or click the link in my bio to buy your Deeper Discussions card game.
Stepdaughter's wedding because her real daddy is the one that's gonna walk her down the aisle. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, you know, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you. I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they can have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's gonna say if any other people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right. So now, the crazy part about it is when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up, my stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? You know what, cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for, in my house, their daddy don't do nothing for you, is giving you away? Oh, and they were just so happy and smiling. Oh, yay, great. Inside, I was fuming.
There's a lot more, so watch this video to the end, but I wanted to interject right here because there's so much. First thing I want to ask is she getting married or is he getting married? Why is he worrying about all of these details? A woman living in your house, then you got her daughter living in your house. They both eating up your food. Daughter doesn't have a job. You pay for her to go to college, then you buy her a car. Plenty of people have a job and go to school. You didn't do that. So all of these up till now are your choices in how you run a household. So all of this is on you. Because I'm sure nobody said, buy me a car, pay for my schooling. I don't want to get a job. I just want to go to school. And if anybody did say this, guess what? You could have said, no, you get a job. You buy your own car. Your mama gonna buy your car. Or ask your mama. You did not do this. The next thing is she invites the biological dad to the wedding and you're mad. You did not have to pay for the wedding. And then you say you set all this up and you pay for everything as far as the wedding goes, right? And your people aren't invited. Your name isn't at the top and all these other different things. This is telling me that you're just a sucker. And it goes back to you, my guy, not them. Women are opportunists. And if you got some old dude trying to come in and play daddy to a woman's child, she's just going to let you. You have to see the signs. You have to read the room. You have to say to yourself, like, yo, is this woman using me? Even though I'm agreeing with you, like, yo, this is crazy. This is messed up. But this is your doing. I'll say it again. This is your doing. That's just like a single mother saying, well, he got me pregnant and now he don't want to take care of the baby. You had the baby with the dude. So the same thing with here. You did all this. You could have sat down and said, I'm not paying this, I'm not paying that. And then they would have figured it out and did something different or not had a wedding at all or whatever and went to the courthouse. You chose to do all of this. So stop whining. Because like I said, if you would have read the room years ago, because I don't know if y'all paid attention, he said they have been together for 10 years. 10 years. That means you had 10 years to realize that you are a sucker. And I'm not saying men are suckers when they do certain things like this, but you got to read the room and find out that your lady thinks you're a sucker. In the beginning, you had an understanding or an inkling that this was going to happen because you've been with a woman for 10 years. Why you ain't married this woman? Like, what are y'all doing? This whole situation sounds stupid. But altogether, the reason why it sounds stupid is because you don't realize that you are the stupid person in the whole situation. So now you're mad that you're exposed at being a sucker. And the last thing, we'll get back to the rest of the video and I'll do commentary on the rest of the video. Why are you on social media telling all of your family business? Why? You are so butthurt that your lady and her daughter is using you for all of your money because you are a sucker on purpose. And you're so mad that you get on social media dogging your own non-family because she's your girlfriend. So this ain't even a family. This ain't your wife. This ain't your child. You're on here dogging somebody else's family that lives in your house. You that mad? We all on social media dogging this family that lives in your house because it's not your family. It's somebody else's family. Sir, I need you to find some dignity and get off of social media whining like a woman about your doing, your life, your inability to read a room, your inability to not realize that you're a sucker. I need you to go sit down somewhere and get off social media, sir. Let me know in the comments. I want to see some paragraphs because this has so many layers. I want to see y'all break this whole thing down. What are y'all thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments.